Chapter 1. Awareness. October 10th, in Konoha. Kanahagakure no Sato, the village hidden in the leaves, supposedly the strongest and greatest of the 5 great hidden villages, was a sight to behold. The natural beauty of Hai no Kuni, the land of fire, coupled with a few adjustments for man, such as the Hokage monument, made for wonderful scenery of lush green forests and dazzling rivers. The village was not only good in looks, though. It has many shinobi who survived the previous great shinobi world wars, such as the 2 remaining Densetsu no Sannin, the legendary 3 ninja, and their teacher, the professor said to have mastered all the ninjutsu in Konoha, Tsurutobi Hiruzen. That's just the icing on the cake. It produces some of the best ninja who either end up making a big name for themselves or join the elite force of the Hokage, the Ansatsu Senjutsu Kushu Butai, Special Assassination and Tactical Squad, Umbu, Dark Side, Black Ops. Among these are Konoha no Shiroi Kiba, the White Fang of the Leaf, Hatake Sakumo, unfortunately deceased, and his son Sharingan no Kakashi, Kakashi the Sharingan. However, in this peaceful village, we can hear a mob of civilians and low-ranking ninja shouting and cursing while chasing someone. The cause of their disdain seemed to be a young boy no older than 5. He had spiky blonde hair and ocean blue eyes. He wore a black shirt with an orange flame pattern on the front and green shorts that reached a little below his knees. The most dominant features, however, were the whisker marks on his cheeks. "Die already, you demon," said a man amongst the crowd, which finally managed to surround him after he reached a dead end in an alley. "Get the demon brat, put his head on a pike, and burn him in fire," said another drunk chunin. After a series of rather unnerving ideas to execute the boy, someone managed to stab him in the gut with a butcher's knife. Now Uzumaki Naruto knew he was not normal. After all, healing wounds within a few seconds is not a daily occurrence, and having whisker marks which reminded the villagers of the great Kyuubi no Kitsune, 9-tailed fox, which attacked the village almost 5 years ago. But calling him a demon outright did not justify their hatred of his tenant. Yes, he knew that the fox was sealed in him. He was smart for his age, but he decided not to tell the Hokage about his exploits. He figured it would be better that way. Right now, the Jinchuriki was wondering of a way to get out of the mess with his head on his shoulders. In the end, when he felt the knife stab him, he gave up. "I'm gonna die, and I can't do a thing about it." Damn it all were his thoughts as he felt his consciousness drifting. Odafar equals. Inside Naruto's mindscape. Naruto opened his eyes and found himself lying on some water on which he was seemingly floating. Getting up, he looked around and saw a multitude of pipes running in every direction. "What's this? Heaven? I thought it would look more appealing than a sewer," said Naruto. "Foolish mortal, you should be cowering before my presence," said a booming voice. Turning around, Naruto saw a large cage holding back a gigantic fox with 9 tails. Eyes widening a little before returning to normal. "Oh, it's just you, Kyuubi. If I'm dead, how are you here? Weren't you supposed to be immortal?" said Naruto calmly. "From the sound of it, you don't sound surprised it's me. And to answer your second question, you're still alive, though you won't be if you don't do something about it soon," answered Kyuubi. "So this is my mind then, a sewer. And Kyuubi, how am I supposed to fight? I don't know anything to take out a large group as the one surrounding me. Scratch that. I can't even fight, which reminds me, if they're still attacking me, so why am I not dead?" Time moves quicker in your mind. And to answer the question of how you fight, I did some tampering in your DNA and awakened some bloodlines earlier than they're supposed to. Just go outside to see them. I'll see you later. Don't miss me. As if I'd miss you. I'm just helping you because if you die, I die. And waiting to reform is too dull. And I'm interested in your future, Uzumaki Naruto. You're the second human after my father to speak normally with me. "Oh, is the almighty Kyuubi interested in little ol' me? Wait, you have a father?" He shouted the last part. "Another time? Or have you forgotten that you're about to die?" Okay. I'm leaving. Don't get your panties in a knot," he said as his presence disappeared. "Cheeky brat," Kyuubi muttered under its breath. Odafar equals. Back in Konoha. The brat's not responding. Has the demon finally given up?" said a civilian, only to find a wooden spear through his head. The others looked at the boy, only to find him back on his feet. His eyes were red and had one tomo each in them. A wooden spear connected to his hand, and his injuries long since healed. The only sign of their existence was his torn clothes. "So, who was gonna die, huh?" asked Naruto. "Quickly get the demon with all you have. He will not leave alive today," said a rookie Chunin. "I've read books from trash cans. Honestly, people throw away quite some valuable stuff about bloodlines, and I seem to have the Sharingan of the Uchiha and the Mokuton of the Shodaime Hokage. I'll ask the Kyuubi about this later. Everything is moving so slowly, and I can predict their path. Good, I have the advantage in this fight." Suddenly, he was forced to dodge a kunai thrown by a Chunin. "I'm lucky those ninja are drunk, or I would have been dead a long time ago." Time to finish this, thought Naruto. He tried to control his Mokuton as best he could, and somehow managed to make a few hundred wooden spears. "Take this," shouted Naruto as the spears moved to pierce each and every member of the mob. "That's it. I can't do anything further," thought Naruto before falling to the ground. If he had been awake for a few more seconds, then he would have noticed the Hokage coming to the scene with a squad of Umbu. "What happened here?" said the Hokage. "It seems that the Demjin Churiki killed the members of the mob," replied a brown-haired Umbu. "So it seems, Ushi, get him to the hospital and tell them to place him in the Byakurai section," said the Hokage. "With all due respect, sir, surely this murder does not deserve to be in the care of those elite doctors," replied Ushi. "Are you questioning my orders? And just so you know, us shinobi are all killers," said the Sandaime Hokage, with a dark aura around him. "Hi, I will take him there, Hokage-sama," said Ushi hastily in fear of his life, and left quickly. "The rest of you, take care of this mess. We don't want dead bodies to rot in the middle of the street," ordered the Hokage, to which the Umbu complied. Otafar equals. In the Konoha hospital, Naruto was placed on a bed, and the Hokage was standing beside him, taking the doctor's report. "He is fully healed, Hokage-sama, but he is unconscious due to chakra exhaustion." "Very well, you may leave," replied the Hokage. Now Sarutobi Hiruzen had seen many things in the course of his long life, but this just takes the cake as an unprecedented surprise. After all, anyone would be shocked to hear the doctor tell you that a child possessed your sensei's extinct Kekii Genkai and the bloodline of one of the biggest traitors of your village. "Forgive me, Naruto-kun, for all the hardships you have faced alone and for not helping you to overcome them. Please be a little more patient, and you will have a wonderful future," said Hiruzen to the unconscious boy. Otafar equals. Inside Naruto's mindscape. "Okay, Kyuubi, I want answers. How the fuck do I have bloodlines of two of the strongest shinobi of Konoha?" demanded Naruto. "Watch your tone, boy. The answer is simple, boy. You are the descendant of those two." "Let's say I believe you. So tell me, how am I heir to the Uchiha and the Senju, not to mention my name is Uzumaki," said Naruto, disbelief dripping off his voice. "I don't know the juicy details, but I heard about some of the story from what Hashirama told Uzumaki Mito, that he had a wife that he loved and had a child with. Contrary to popular belief, Hashirama and Mito did not love each other. It was an arranged marriage. Uchiha Madara had a child. I do not know for sure about when, but since your chakra signature is similar to his, I can tell that you're his heir. Back to the point, your mother was born to the Uchiha son and an Uzumaki. Come to think of it, Kushina's mother did not talk much about her father. Now that I recall it, her chakra also had a faint trace of Madara's, but I ignored it. It must have been sealed. Anyways, your father was born to the Senju daughter and a member of a small clan, the Namikaze, which had the swift release Kekii Genkai. When your mother was about to be made a Jinchuriki, she was sent to Konoha, where she found Minato. I'll skip the details and tell you that they did the deed, and you were born 5 years ago on October 10th. The day I was unsealed from your mother and forced to attack your pathetic village, but was sealed in you by your father." Tears were flowing down his face when he found out about his family. When he realized that the reason why he was hated was because of his father, he couldn't help but feel a little negative about him. "I see," said Naruto blankly. "Did they love me?" he muttered. "What did you say, Brad?" "Did my parents love me?" he said a little louder, with pain clearly visible in his eyes. Yes, his blood-red eyes one had one. Tomo and the other had two. That Sharingan, the emotions that are visible, I have to choose my next words carefully or a monster would be unleashed on the world, thought the QB. Yes, they did. More than I can tell you, especially your mother. Even when there was no choice, she tried to stop Minato from sealing me in you. They both jumped in front of my claw when I was about to kill you to prevent myself from being sealed a third time. I see, was Naruto's reply. He seemingly calmed down a little. You said you knew what Hashirama told Mito and what my grandmother told my mother before you were sealed. How? I read their memories, was the QB's simple reply. Wait, you said you were forced to attack the village. Mind explaining? Asked Naruto. A masked man with a Sharingan who claimed to be Madara controlled me with his eyes. I knew he was a fake, but he was strong enough to make me wreak havoc on the village. Remember one thing, that masked fool has the ability to pass them solid objects. So when you face him one day, make sure you have a plan, replied QB. So Toussaint was forced to seal the QB in me, thought Naruto. Thank you, Q. Do you have a name? I'm sure you do, asked Naruto. Yes, I do. But you can only find out when you are worthy enough, replied QB. Anyways, thanks for sharing this knowledge with me. You don't know how much this means to me, said Naruto cheerfully. Blah. Well, I'll be damned. This is the first time a human actually thanked me. Well, you should cheer up. I want to be your friend, said Naruto. Me a friend? Don't make me laugh. I'm an embodiment of hatred. And from when I checked last time, I don't think I can have friends, replied QB. Well, that's too bad because it doesn't matter what you think, said Naruto. Interesting, brat. We'll see about that. Back to business. You are currently a weak piece of trash unworthy to be my container. So consider yourself lucky that you interest me. I'll give you some guidance on how to go every now and then, but you'll have to arrange your training yourself, said the QB. Thanks for the offer, but I have a feeling that you're just saying that for the heck of it, replied Naruto. And what if I am? Now, get out of here. I feel like sleeping, retorted QB. Hee hee, lazy ass. I'm going, replied Naruto. When I get my hands on that brat, the QB muttered under its breath. Odafar equals. In the Konoha hospital. Ugh, what just hit me? Naruto said as he looked around. Gigi, hey, where am I? The Sarutobi sadly at Naruto as he said, the hospital, Naruto-kun. And I just remembered, though it isn't the best time to say it, but happy birthday, Naruto. What do you want as a present this year? Hey, Gigi, can you please tell me about my parents? Asked Naruto, trying to hide his conversation with the QB. Forgive me, Naruto, I don't know them, replied Hiruzen. I know he's trying to protect me, but he has no right to hide this from me now, thought Naruto. Don't lie, Gigi. I already found out who my father is, so can you please tell me my mother's name? Replied Naruto. To say Hiruzen was shell-shocked was like saying Guy was not youthful. Sure, Naruto, but first tell me your father's name and how you found out, said the Hokage as he discreetly put a silencing seal on the bed to prevent eavesdropping. Gigi, how many blondes are there in the village, excluding the Yamanakas, other than me and the Yondaime, Namikaze Minato? None, right. And he died on October 10th, the day the QB was killed and I was born. But even more so, I've seen his picture of myself in a mirror. I think it would be rather foolish to ignore the resemblance we share. The way Naruto said killed was starting to worry Hiruzen, not to mention the perfect guess about his father. Yes, Gigi, I know that Toussaint sealed the QB in me. It's not hard to figure out, especially when the villagers get most violent on October 10th, the day of the QB attack. I'm sorry for hiding the truth, Naruto. It was to protect you from your parents' enemies, and your mother's name was Uzumaki Kushina. Tell me, Naruto-kun, do you hate your father? Asked the Sarutobi. Uzumaki Kushina, Ka-chan, said Naruto weakly, with visible sadness in his eyes. His mother was still a touchy subject for him. Seeing Naruto like this made Hiruzen's heart throb. Putting on another mask of confidence, Naruto said, anyways, I don't hate my father outright, as I know he couldn't ask another parent to sacrifice their child when he couldn't do so himself. However, I do have a right to be slightly angry at him. The Hokage was pleased with Naruto's mature answer. Hey, Gigi, could you tell me where my parents, rather my house is? I was kicked out of the orphanage, asked Naruto. Sure, Naruto-kun, please follow me, said Hiruzen as he turned towards the door. as Naruto got out of bed to follow him. Otafar Uzumaki Namikaze's estate. Here, it is Naruto-kun, said Hiruzen to the boy following him. Well, be damned, this place is bigger than the Hokage mansion, commented Naruto. True to his word, the estate was a two-story, Japanese-style mansion, with a large garden which had a lake at the edge. However, when they got close, Hiruzen was blocked by a blue wall. It seems only Minato and Kushina or those with their blood can enter. This is where I take my leave. Farewell, Naruto. And if you need anything, then please don't hesitate to ask, said the Hokage. Jana Jiji, replied Naruto, and the Sarutobi left in a shunshin, body flicker. Naruto turned around to enter the mansion, and so his new life began. Chapter 2. Understanding. October 11th, Konoha Council Chambers. The atmosphere was tense and thick. If we took the time to look around in the room, we would see two groups of people sitting on what seemed to be council seats, and at the utmost edge of the rows of seats lay an empty seat, ascended slightly in an elevated position with a desk accompanying it. The letters for Hokage was written on the desk. One group had the label civilian written on the wall adjacent to them, while the other side represented the shinobi. We could see the civilian council seething as they whispered to each other. On the other hand, the shinobi were calmly sitting on their seats, waiting for their leader. In an instant, the Sandaime Hokage of Konoha appeared in a shunshin, body flicker, and took his seat. I hereby begin this council meeting. Civilian Council, please enlighten us as to why you have called this meeting on such short notice, requested the aged Hokage. With all due respect, Hokage-sama, we have received reports that the demon brat has massacred a large group of Konoha citizens, therefore we of the Civilian Council demand his execution, said Yuki Togawa, the marketing manager. According to what I have personally witnessed, the boy was merely defending himself, and to be honest, I would have executed the group on accusation of severe child abuse, as well as breaking an absolute law set by the Hokage. Also, you're to call him Naruto and not a demon, which would be a violation of another law, for which you shall be punished next time, said the Hokage with an eerie undertone in his voice as he said the last part. But Hokage-san, as Sarenji Haruna, chairwoman of economics, was interrupted by Hiruzen. Are you questioning my orders, civilian? Need I remind you that this village is a military dictatorship? My word is the law. No one questions my orders. I have given you enough leeway, letting you off the hook for the most gruesome of crimes. Now, if you don't want me to abolish the Civilian Council altogether, I suggest you remain quiet on this topic, all of you. Shikaku, for most of the part, was surprised. Never had he seen the Hokage using his authority properly. At times like this, he remembers why the old Sarutobi is called the god of shinobi. What a drag! It would have lightened up this troublesome day had the Civilian Council been abolished, thought Shikaku, as did the rest of the shinobi, after all the greed of the civilians was eating up the village inside out. Even the academy standards were lowered just to accommodate civil students, thus weakening the ninja force of the village. Hi, Hokage-sama, replied Haruna a little too hastily as the other civilians were gobsmacked that one of the most prideful members of the Civilian Council who was used to arguing with the Hokage had just submitted. Now then, if there is nothing else, I call this meeting adjourned, said the Hokage as he left for his office. The others followed in suit, except that they went about their own business. Otafar Uzumaki Namikaze's estate, Konoha. When we looked inside this massive mansion, we would see that it was completely clean, as if years of being unattended had done nothing to it. After all, there were preservation seals all across the house to keep it clean and in mint condition. If one were to take a stroll in the house, he would eventually reach a room to find a desk with some letters on it. If a curious person were to check, then they would find out that they were from Minato, Kushina, and some written by both of them. In front of the desk, we find our favorite Uzumaki sitting in a lotus position, seemingly meditating. On his face were some dried tear stains which he probably shed at reading his parents' letters. Flashback. After entering the compound. So Toussaint had a huge mansion. Well, he was the Hokage after all, thought Naruto as he finished examining the residence. The mansion had a large kitchen, 5 large bedrooms, a bathroom in each one, and a lounge on both floors with the guest rooms on each of them. As Naruto entered the master bedroom, he quickly scanned the room and found a desk with some letters on top. As he went through them, he found out that they were from his parents along with some of their pictures. For him, three in particular stood out. The first was when Kushina became a jounin. Ka-chan sure was beautiful. Tusan was quite lucky. The second was when Minato became Hokage. He sure does look powerful in that getup. The final and most emotional for him was of a pregnant Kushina with Minato beside her. They seemed to be playfully talking to the developing baby. Naruto didn't know what to think. A lone tear trailed down his cheek. He was happy that his parents loved him, sad that they were not with him, and determined to make them proud of him. He decided to read the letters and his mother's first. He took it out and began, "Dear Naruto, this is your Ka-chan. I know what type of situation you are in while you're reading. I'll tell you this. I'm sorry for not being there for you, but know this. No matter what you may think of me, I will always love you." Upon seeing the tear, Stains' heart began to throb and his cheeks felt wet, but he continued on. "Oh, look at me. I'm crying even when the situation of me leaving you hasn't occurred. You must think Ka-chan is emotional Tebane. Hee hee, there it is, my embarrassing verbal tick. I hope you don't have it, but I wouldn't mind since it would make me and my Sochi-kun similar. Anyways, enough about me. I really want to touch you, to be there for you when you feel sad and enjoy with you when you're happy." Some more tear stains on the letter were seen. "Make sure you eat healthy. That means you eat your veggies. Make sure you sleep on time and be well rested, but don't oversleep because that's unhealthy. Work hard and study. Respect your teachers. If you don't get something, then don't feel down. Everyone has things they are good and bad at. And make some friends. They don't have to be many. Just 2 or 3 are fine, but they have to be good and able to look out for your back. And I know this world is made of men and women, so it's natural too. Find a girl that you like. Just make sure she's nice like your Ka-chan. Me and your Tu-chan left some information for your training. Should we not be there for you? I really want to be in your life from the bottom of my heart. Please forgive me for not being there for you. Lots of love. Konoha's Red Death. Your Ka-chan. Uzumaki Kushina." By now Naruto was in tears, but he noticed that Konoha had been as hastily cut, and he noted an extra note written hurriedly. "P.S. Don't trust Konoha. Minato told me that during the Kyuubi attack, he saw some people working to take down the village in the chaos and plotting to harm you. Read Minato's extra note for detail. Remember, I love you, Tebane, and we hope you can overcome the Kyuubi's hatred. As a Jinchuriki myself, I know how painful it is, but fill your heart with love and be close to those precious to you. I am Sora Naruto." Some blood had also managed to fall on the note as sweat and tears marred it. "You have nothing to be sorry for, Ka-chan," thought Naruto. The side note had raised teary-eyed Naruto's curiosity. He picked up Minato's letter and read it. "Dear Naruto, this is your Tu-chan, though you might not call me that for not being there for you. Know this, that I have loved you since the day you were born and before. All I basically have to say is the same as your motor mouth, Ka-chan." Naruto chuckled at that. "Anyways, me and your Ka-chan have planned a training schedule on the other letters. I know it's hard to live without a father. After all, my father died before I was born. Sorry for getting sidetracked there. I will tell you this one last thing. I love you, my Sochi. With love." The yellow flash of Konoha. The Yondaime Hokage, regrettably. Namake's Minato. Naruto noticed that once again Konoha was cut hastily and that he regretted being Hokage. A hastily written note by Minato followed. "P.S. Naruto, do not trust Konoha. They are plotting something. While the Sandaime and the Shinobi were fighting the Kyuubi, there were some members of the civilian council who were doing something with some IWA and Kumo ninja. I also overheard Danzo with some council members saying that after I would make you a Jinchuriki and that they would try to control you, that crafty bastard figured out what I would do. However, I couldn't do much about it because a masked man claiming to be Uchihamadara attacked me. Then I had to deal with the Kyuubi. Sorry about that, but I hope you understand. How can I ask a parent to give up their child when I couldn't do the same myself? I hope you can control the Kyuubi and bring peace to the world. I've left you a surprise in the seal, which you can see when the time comes." So Konoha is destroying itself. And who is this Danzo? Me. Bring peace to the world. You're right, peace seems to be a pipe dream right now. I'd rather destroy the world, Naruto thought, but after the last part, he shivered as he remembered his first kill, rather massacre. Am I a monster? He whispered to himself. I need to sleep, he said to himself, suddenly feeling a lot of guilt as well as some mixed emotions due to his parents' words, and he felt that rest would help him get over it. Flashback end. I didn't do anything wrong. If I let them live, then they would have killed me without second thought. Naruto had just woke up and was in a constant attempt to convince himself that he didn't do the wrong thing. With a heavy heart, he decided that occupying himself was all he could do to forget about his trauma. Therefore, he quickly washed himself and made a breakfast of bacon and eggs. I have to eat healthy so Ka-chan will be happy. Getting finished with breakfast, he thought about the QB's offer. It doesn't seem like he's going to do anything harmful to me, at least not right now. Better be on my toes, for my own good, he thought as he visited his mindscape. Otafar Naruto's mindscape. Yo QB, greeted Naruto, but instead of a reply, he got a grunt in response. Not one for pleasantries, eh? What do you want, mortal? I won't be training you, as I already told you. Advice then? Do the basics from your parents' scrolls, said the QB rather menacingly. Hey QB, what will you achieve by helping me? Asked Naruto. And what will I lose? It's too boring in here, so I'd rather help you to make things more eventful. Who knows? You might even free me in gratitude, replied the QB. How about a deal? I know I will die if you get free, so I will find a way to release you without dying. That would be unpleasant to say the least, offered Naruto. Haha, you're amusing, brat. I suppose I really have no other choice than to rot in boredom. So I guess we can call it a deal, answered the QB. So when do we start? Questioned Naruto. Are you an idiot? Don't answer that. Just do what I told you. I will not be training you directly, answered the QB. I suppose I have no other choice. See you later, Tabeo, said Naruto as his presence vanished. Like I would want a retorted QB. Otafar Uzumaki Namikaze's estate, Konoha. Tabeo? That was a first. I suppose it's something that makes me and Ka-chan alike, said Naruto a little cheerfully, but felt a little down because he was alone in the world. No need to get down, Ka-chan would beat me to hell for that, thought Naruto. Suddenly, he heard a ringing bell. When he went to check the source of the sound, he saw a moving picture of the Sandaime in between a seal. Impressive. I must learn Fuinjutsu, thought Naruto as he went outside. Otafar Outside Uzumaki Namikaze's estate, Konoha. Hey Gigi, what brought you here? Asked Naruto. Hello Naruto-kun. I'm here to give you a warning, said Hiruzen as he waited for Naruto to process the information, and he got a sign to go on for Naruto. You see, earlier I was in a council meeting and they planned to kill you. I used my influence to stop them, however, they can unofficially assault you at any time, so watch your back. Got a Gigi, said Naruto as he asked in a slightly guilty voice. Ano Gigi, am I a monster? Hiruzen was surprised at the sudden question and swiftly replied, No Naruto-kun, whatever made you think that? You see, yesterday, before I was in the hospital, as you already know, I massacred a group of people, replied Naruto. At least this is not due to the council's manipulation, the Sandaime thought, and then said, Look Naruto-kun, what you did back there was not wrong. If they were not dealt with then, they would have threatened your well-being. So don't feel guilty for killing them. Killing isn't our line of work as shinobi. You do want to become a shinobi, right? And he received a nod in response. So he continued, Just remember you are doing whatever you may be doing so that those precious to you can be happy. Arigato Gigi, I needed that, replied Naruto, feeling better on the subject. Very well, Naruto-kun. I won't take up more of your time, so this is where I take my leave. Farewell. Jana Gigi, said Naruto in response, and he went to explore the village. Let's visit Ayamne and Taiyochi-ji and some ramen, thought Naruto. Otafar Ichiraku Ramen Stand, Konoha. Inside a busy street of Konoha, there was an average-looking ramen stand. It was a family business which was constantly evolving and earning a lot of profit. I'm so bored, whined a tired Ayam. I wish Naruto were here to liven things up. Oh hey oh, I am Ne, greeted Naruto as he came from behind the covers. Speak of the devil. How are you, Naruto-kun? Replied Taiuchi. San, Naruto is too cute to be a devil, retorted Iam. Naruto chuckled as he said, I'm fine. Actually, I'm hungry for ramen. As if on cue, his stomach grumbled. Got it. One Naruto special on the house for brightening the day up, said Taiuchi as he went to the back. So, Naruto, what have you been up to? I haven't seen a prank for weeks. I was getting worried, said Iam. Hee, just wait and see. I'm going to make tomorrow a day worth remembering, replied Naruto, with a mischievous glint in his eyes. Knowing you, I'll hear squeals from the Hyuga compound, joked Iam. How did you find out? Feigning surprise. I just know you that well, retorted Iam. Here you go, Naruto-kun. Eat up, said Taiuchi as he brought the ramen. Let's see if you can break your previous record of eating speed, said Iam. Actually, I think it would be better if I started eating normally, replied Naruto as he slowly his favorite dish and thought, wow, ramen tastes even better when eaten slowly. Era. Is my cute little Naruto finally practicing to ensnare a damsel's heart? You should play the knight in shining armor role. It never fails, teased Iam, at which Naruto blushed and stuttered incoherent words. After calming down, Naruto decided on only 3 bowls of ramen instead of the usual 20. He talked with Iam a bit and eventually finished his food. Jatana, Iam ne, Taiuchi, said Naruto, and he went back home. See you next time, Naruto-chan/Naruto-kun, replied Iam and Taiuchi. Otafar == Uzumaki Namikaze's estate, Konoha. I should visit them for ramen more often. It's always fun around them, said Naruto to himself as he went to the master bedroom. Well, first let's check if I can actually channel chakra, thought Naruto as he got tips from Scroll. He focused for a second and found a warm blue ocean. So much chakra. The scroll said that I would only feel a small pond, were his thoughts as he stopped the chakra flow and opened his eyes. I could see the chakra around me again. This must be the Sharingan, thought Naruto. I'm in for a hell of a ride. Man, it will take a long time to get stronger, said the blonde to himself. I guess I should start with the other scrolls, thought Naruto as he went to the desk. He picked up the seemingly simplest scroll and read it. So they expected me to have humongous chakra reserves. I have to master the leaf balancing and tree walking in 3 days, maximum. Water walking will take 4 days. I need to have above average chakra control by the week. Another week for perfection of the exercises, planned Naruto as he left for the training ground. Otafar Uzumaki Namikaze training field, Konoha. Wow, was all Naruto could say after taking in the marvelous sight. After all anyone would take, at the very least, a minute to absorb all the details of this miraculous piece of land. There are trees filling the area and a river dividing it in half. Temperature and moisture seals have been used to raise and lower the temperature to form a desert and a snow field, respectively. Other than that, targets have been set up for shuriken jutsu. Some targets were apparently impossible to hit, yet we can see a kunai embedded in them with perfect accuracy behind the target. This is the best place I could possibly ask for train in. Any more, and Kami herself may as well come down from heaven to help me, thought Naruto. It is to be expected, the Yondaime Hokage wasn't called the Yellow Flash for being a slouch. Gotta be efficient. I have to finish this as fast as I can. Ka-chan had to practice daily to keep up control of her astounding reserves. That alone shows how necessary control is, said the blonde to himself. He picked up some leaves, placed them on his forehead, and channeled some chakra. And surprisingly, he got the desired results mentioned in the scroll on his first attempt. Must be because of the Sharingan, thought Naruto. Tree walking is next then, he said to himself. He channeled some chakra to his feet and ran towards the tree. Instead of running on, the bark of the tree got crushed. I knew it. Easy exercises like the left balancing are simple enough, but tree walking is going to take a day or two, figure Naruto. OFR . Time skip 2 days. We could see Naruto running on a tree and then jumping onto another, repeating the process several times. I'm satisfied with the control. That was kind of fun, he muttered the last part. No time to waste, time to waste. Water walking, prepare to be conquered, Tabeo, said Naruto, happy on his success. He moved on to the river. Wait a second, I don't want to fall in the water because I was too impatient. Now, water walking is like tree walking, it's just that I have to adjust to the constant flow of water, Naruto thought as he focused his chakra and moved onto the water. His first few steps were successful, but a few seconds later, the water reached his waist. Troublesome. This will take a while, said Naruto to himself as he started to practice tenaciously. Chapter 3. Reasoning. Uzumaki Namikaze's training ground, Konoha. It had only been a few weeks since he started training, and he had already mastered water walking. When we look out at the ground, not much has changed, but looking at the river, we could see what a civilian would call an unnatural occurrence. Uzumaki Naruto was currently running on the river with some kunai balanced on his fingertips. He learned that exercise after mastering water walking. He figured that his large chakra reserves would be a liability without control, so he decided to do several exercises simultaneously. He hadn't mastered any of the exercises per se, however, he was very proficient in them, and they were like second nature to him. In all honesty, he knew that he couldn't truly master the more technical exercises, like the tree climbing and water walking exercises, in such a short time considering his reserves. And no matter how much he wanted to rush things, he knew it was a bad idea. In a display no 5-year-old should be capable of, Naruto unknowingly recreated the Kagetsu no Jutsu puppet technique and used chakra strings to hold the kunai a small distance away from his hands. Well, that should be enough. Let's read the part of the chakra control scroll, which Ka-chan wanted me to read after the kunai balancing, said Naruto as he walked inside the mansion. Looking at his attire, a completely drenched black short with an equally wet black shirt, he mused, that'll have to come later. I'd rather not be seen as trying to wash my clothes while wearing them. Otafar equals. Hokage office, Konoha. In the office of the dictator of Konoha, we could see an apparently weak old man. However, anyone with such a thought would be in for a rude awakening. After all, this was the man who had survived all 3 of the great shinobi world wars and was ready to fight further to protect his village. This was the man who earned the moniker Shinobi no Kami, God of Shinobi. However, right now we could see the professor who had mastered all the jutsu in Konoha, contemplating on an issue. What might it do with Naruto? Was the lone thought of Sarutobi Hiruzen. It seems that the Mokuton he used was unconscious, so I'll ask Tenzo to give him lessons during his genin days. Then he thought of the perfect idea for Naruto's Sharingan. Tori, he called as a bird-masked Umbu appeared in a swirl of leaves signifying the use of Shunshin. Go call Tora, as the soldier did as he was told. In a moment a tiger-masked Umbu appeared. You called Hokage-sama, said Tora. Take off your mask, commanded the Hokage. As he took off his mask, we could see a young man with unkempt black hair and a broad nose. He had well-defined eyelashes which were curved upwards and coal-black eyes, which belonged to the Uchiha clan. Shursui, you must be aware of a boy named Naruto, the Jinchuriki. It was more like of a statement than a question. You were to train the boy, make him experienced in the use of his Sharingan. Yes, he has a Sharingan. I am currently working out how requested the Hokage. Hi Hokage-sama. If I may ask, how did you find out about his eyes? Were the words that left Shursui's mouth. Good question. However, you should already be aware of the answer, replied the Hokage, and added, you are to work as yourself, so you have no need for Umbu gear. You will be of Jonin rank for the mission. So the villagers went that far with him, mused Shursui, and said, hi, Hokage-sama, as he left in a swirl of leaves. Otafar equals. In front of the Uzumaki estate, Konoha, and from here on out, it will be just called the Uzumaki estate. We could find a lone Uchiha casually strolling towards the fairly large mansion at a casual pace, enjoying the scenery and taking in the sights. Shursui had an almost unnoticeable smile on his face, as if he was reminiscing something of his past, something pleasant. So here's how I go about this. I go there and be direct. I tell him everything and see if he trusts me. Let be known, Uchiha Shursui has never been one to lie to a child were he not ordered to. Hokage-sama did order me to train him, hence become his friend, and he will trust me as a friend if I am honest with him. Seeing a person he recognized as Shunshin no Shursui the teleporter, also known in the bingo book as Buridu Shursui, Blaze Blade Shursui, in front of his house, Naruto left his scroll, went to greet him. Yes, he knew about quite a few famous people. When he took a break from training during the week, he read all sorts of books, be it bingo books or history books. To what do I owe the pleasure of having an S-class shinobi at my front door? Greeted Naruto upon seeing Shursui in his standard Uchiha clothing. The pleasure is all mine, Uzumaki Naruto. Rather, Uchiha Naruto, replied Shursui after Naruto reached the end of the barrier clad in black trousers and a dark navy blue shirt. I see. So why exactly are you here? Asked Naruto. You see, my short little friend, Naruto glared at Shursui for that. The Hokage has asked me to train you, as well as to be your friend, said Shursui. Well, I do need help for my Sharingan, and a friend, so when do we start? Asked Naruto in reply. Good. Meet me at Training Ground 4 at 6 a.m. sharp. It's displaced from the main village, so it's private enough, said Shursui as he disappeared in a swirl of leaves. Training, huh? I suppose life is starting to look up to me, said Naruto to himself as he went inside his home. Otafar equals. With Naruto. He called me an Uchiha. Well, that's to be expected with the Sharingan. Well, technically, I am an Uchiha. Madara had a son with an Uzumaki, so my Kaachan had stronger genes than my Tuchans were they not sealed. Tuchan was only a Senju. Kaachan was an Uchiha and an Uzumaki. I will take one of Kaachan's names. Either one will do, Naruto thought. Getting back to the task, he read about the display he put on earlier and about how it was actually a modified version of a jutsu, the Kagutsu no Jutsu, puppet technique. Interesting, I can definitely use this in a fight, once I learn it properly, that is. Now then, let's move on to jutsu, said Naruto to himself. Reading the scroll, he found out that his parents had wanted him to learn a godsend for Uzumaki Jutsu, which was useful for training and for a fight. The Kagebunshin no Jutsu, Shadow Clone Jutsu. It was basically made for stealth and recon by the Night-Aim Hokage. A clone on being expelled gave the user its memories. It cost a lot of chakra, and an experienced Jounin could unmake 3 or 4 clones, which were actually useful in a fight. But for an Uzumaki, and one like Naruto to boot, could make an army of clones, each of which being capable of using at least one S-class jutsu. That was a privilege reserved for the future. This is just what I needed. Coupled with the Sharingan, it would enable me to increase my progress rate from a jutsu every few months to a jutsu every few days. It helped that they could be used for chakra control training, but they couldn't help in physical training. Let's see, so this is how to do it, Naruto said, and made a cross hand sign and channeled a little chakra. After all, he didn't want to damage the house by filling it with clones. Not that it was possible due to the seals, but cramming it up would be rather unpleasant to say the least. In a puff of smoke appeared 10 clones. Let's see, dispel yourselves for now, ordered Naruto, and they vanished in a puff of smoke. It's too noisy and the smoke gets in the way during infiltration missions. Let it be known, Uchiha Naruto was never one for imperfections unless absolutely necessary. Now then, let's make a plan, muttered Naruto as he thought. He made 10 more shadow clones and said, you each have enough chakra to make about 10 clones each. When you reach the designated area, you are to multiply and use the Sharingan for perfection. Now then, 5 of you will go to the river and do every chakra control exercise you can until you are just about to dispel. 2 of you will go and practice the Karomi Jutsu, substitution technique, until you can do it without hand seals, even then continue to practice. The last 2 will go to the library and start studying everything there is to know. One more thing, dispel yourselves in groups of 10 with a 5-minute interval. I would like it if you consulted other groups at the time of dispelling. I'd rather avoid a migraine. And with that, the clones went to do as they were told. I'd better start on physical training. Where are the weights? Thought Naruto as he began to search around the table and saw a seal with a note placed beside it. Dear Naruto, these are weight seals. You place them on your limbs and channel chakra in them. Their weight will be directly proportional to the burst of chakra they will receive. To turn them off, disrupt your chakra flow, much like how you dispel a Jinjutsu. A proud Uzumaki seal master. Uzumaki Kushina. Thanks, Ka-chan. I'm definitely getting stronger, at least for your sake, thought Naruto. He placed the seals on his limbs and sent a small amount of chakra through them. Suddenly, he fell to his knees. This is perfect. I'm going to surpass my ancestors, the founders of Konoha. That's the lowest target I can set for myself, said Naruto to himself with determination as he walked to the physical training scroll. After reading it, he went to the training ground to start his 10 rounds around the Uzumaki training grounds, which had a 10-kilometer circumference. Otafar equals. In Naruto's seal. In the sewer that was the mind of our blonde hero, we could see one monster capable of destruction in deep thought. That brat. Sometimes he reminds me so much of Hagoromo Jiji, but on others he is so much like Indra and Madara. Can he really do it? Bring eternal, everlasting peace. Of course he can, but will he? Seeing him, now the chances are little. I know for sure he is the child of prophecy. He is also the reincarnation of Ajura and Indra in one body, the next sage of the six paths. He is bound to get the Rinnegan, and with that godlike power, he will either be the light of this world of the one to plunge it in a world of darkness. The foolish villagers have brought about their own end, and except for a few, Naruto will destroy the Konoha. I have agreed to train him. It's not like I have much of a choice. I'll be stuck here for Kami knows how long, so why not make things interesting? Plus, he said he'd work out on a way to free me. I suppose it's beneficial for both of us that I help him, but I suppose that since he was given a tutor, I don't have to trouble myself for a while. Finishing his line of thought, the great Kyubi no Kitsune, nine-tailed fox, went to sleep. Otafar equals. Next day, training ground for Konoha. Upon entering the ground, we could see that it was arguably the largest training ground in Konoha. There was a river flowing at a side and a large pond at the opposite end. There were some rock formations opposite to the entrance. There were a few sets of trees, large enough in number to be called mini-forests, and there were several round clearings in between these large trees. To anyone looking to train here, it was a paradise only short of the Uzumaki training grounds. Uzumaki Naruto was never one to be late, especially when coming early was his benefactor. He was at the ground and had finished with his warm-ups. Shursui would take some time to arrive, so Naruto decided to reminisce yesterday's training. He had completely mastered the two jutsu he wanted to learn and could substitute without hand seals. His chakra control had improved by leaps and bounds. He was also fairly knowledgeable on quite a few subjects. He was just reorganizing it all when the thought struck him, should I trust Shursui? His parents did warn him not to trust Konoha, but that didn't include the Sandaime Hokage. If Jiji trusts him, I guess that I can too. In a swirl of leaves appeared the subject of his thoughts. Yo, Naruto, greeted Shursui. You're a second late for training. Now you have to teach me a cool new jutsu. Regardless of what anyone said, Uzumaki Naruto was still a 5-year-old child. Chuckling at his antics, Shursui replied, if you can still stand up after training. Child or not, Shursui would not cut any slack for a student of his. He will train the very best. You can count on it, replied Naruto excitedly. I see you have started weight seals, judging from the seals on your limbs. Tell me, Naruto, do you know your parents? Asked Shursui, to which Naruto nodded in positive. I see. Did you learn any of the jutsu Kushi-sensei set out for you? Asked Shursui once again. Yes, I know the Kage bunch. Wait a minute. MYKA-chan was your sensei? Exclaimed Naruto in shock. If that's true, then he can really be trusted. Why, of course. She made me the man who I am now. As such, it is my responsibility to make you a person greater than your parents, replied Shursui. Getting over his shock, Naruto replied, as I was saying, I know the Kagebunshin no Jutsu, shadow clone technique, the Kawarami no Jutsu, substitution technique, and the Henge no Jutsu, transformation technique. I can also consciously activate the Sharingan, but as for the Mokuton, while I can consciously do it at a very small scale, let me check, said Naruto, as he manipulated the trees behind him and made 2 chairs of wood. Have a seat, said Naruto, being polite. Show off, muttered Shui under his breath. Taking a seat, Shui then gave Naruto his task for the day. Okay, don't expect me to go easy on you because you're sensei's son. In fact, that'll make me even more strict. Make as many Kage Bunshin as you can. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, shadow clone technique, cried Naruto as 300 clones were made. And he said, I can make about twice as many which can use a few A-rank jutsu, but I think that fewer clones with more chakra will be better for training and to avoid headaches. Amazing. If he can make these many clones, and they all have enough chakra to cast at least a dozen A-rank jutsu, then this world better be ready for a monster when he grows up, thought Shui surprised. Good job, Naruto, as is going to be expected from you in the future. Since you have this many clones, make about 50 of them practice chakra control exercises, if you know any. Otherwise, there's a scroll near the lake that you can use. I will make some clones in a while. 25 of them will go with a few of them to practice Shuriken Jutsu. I will test your chakra affinity later. Keep the rest ready for those exercises. Dispel in groups of 10 every 2 minutes. Migraines are a bitch, ordered Shui, and made 55 clones and sent 5 of them for the Shuriken Jutsu group. Taking a piece of paper out of his pocket, Shui said, This is chakra paper. It is made from trees grown with the help of chakra. Pass your chakra through it to determine your chakra nature. If the paper is cut, you have wind. It burns for fire. It gets soggy for water. It gets crumpled up for lightning. It gets aged or turns to dust for earth. Naruto took the paper from Shui and did as told. The paper cut into 4 pieces, one burned in a brilliant flame, one turned to water, one turned into very fine dust, and the last one got crumpled up and expelled some sparks of lighting. Impossible! All 5 chakra natures at the age of 5 was the lone thought of a surprised Shui. I know I'm awesome, but could you please stop gaping at my greatness, said Naruto rather smugly. He had read that no one other than the Rakuto Sennin had all 5 chakra natures. Now, no need to get cheeky. This just means that you're going to have a shitload of more work to do, said Shui. Bring it, retorted Naruto. Okay, now each of you divide in groups of 45 and go to the designated area to train. Fire group, go to the forest up ahead. Lighting group, go to the forest near the rocky hills. Wind group, go to the forest near the river. Water group, go to the river. And earth group, go to those rocky hills. I have left a scroll in each of these locations. Find it and start elemental training as described in the scroll, said Shui. What about me? Asked Naruto impatiently. In response, Shui crouched and poured some chakra into the weight seals, and almost instantly, Naruto fell face first into the ground. Our favorite blonde groaned and said, Ugh, that hurt like a bitch. Get used to it. Don't expect me to go easy on you, and when I feel that you're getting used to the seals, I'll increase the weight, said Shui, and, through a scroll, pick it up and start following it to the letter. This was hell, but it was the only way for him to get stronger. Don't underestimate me. I can take everything you can give me and more, Tabeo. Let's get this dance started, said Naruto with burning determination. Tabeo, he is so much like Kushi-sensei. But dance, according to history books, only Uchiha Madara refer to fights and such as dances. I hope he doesn't turn out like Madara, were the thoughts of the raven-haired Umbu captain. Do your best. If you need any pointers, I'm here to help, encouraged Shui, and so, Uzumaki Uchiha Naruto's training officially began. Chapter 4, Development. 1 year after Naruto's training started, training ground for Konoha. It had been a year ago when Shui took him under his tutelage. He had grown only a few inches, but alas, this was not his growing age. His hair got a little longer and too crude. Makeshift bangs had started to develop on either side of his face. He wore a black shirt with an Uzumaki symbol on the back and navy blue pants. The Hokage wanted to keep his bloodlines hidden by not having him wear the Uchiha or Senju symbol on his clothes, since miraculously, no one seemed to have noticed them. In the ground, we could see that there was rubble near the rocky hills, and a new earth hill with a waterfall had been formed. The mini forest had many burnt trees, and a great number was cut in half, but still the quantity of trees did the fertile land of fire justice. We could see 2 figures at the clearing in the center of the ground. You never cease to amaze me, Naruto. You progressed with your elemental manipulation of all 5 elements to the third of the 5 total levels, and also have mastery of up till B-rank jutsu in each one. Your physical skills can give any fresh chunin a run for his money, though you might not win every time due to being a little too young, praised Shursui. It's not enough. I have a long way to go before I can even think of calling myself to be of a temporarily acceptable level, replied Naruto. If anything had happened to Naruto during the year, it was that he got a lot more mature. He didn't blindly trust anymore, especially not after what had happened a few days ago. Flashback, October 10th. Naruto was casually walking down the street, wondering what he should do for his special day, when suddenly he heard a shout, "Get the demon!" Ugh, not again, thought Naruto as he quickly left in a Shunshin, body flicker. He was the first and only student of Shunshin, no Shursui the teleporter. After all, how could he not learn the jutsu? Appearing in front of the Ichiraku ramen stand, he decided to have some food. He entered, received birthday wishes, got free ramen, and left with a good mood and a satisfied stomach. This day couldn't be any better, was the thought of one Uzumaki Naruto. Almost instantly, he overheard the Uchiha clan head, who had been very kind to him for the entire year. Flashback within a flashback. 2 months after Naruto's training began. Uchiha Fugaku, the Uchiha clan head, had called for Shursui and Uzumaki Naruto, believed to be Shursui's student, to come to his office. "You called Fugaku-sama," said Shursui upon entering the office. "Yes, Shursui. The reason being that it is believed that you have taken up an apprentice while you ignored all possible candidates from the Uchiha clan and settled for second best," replied Fugaku. "Hi, Fugaku-sama. But he is not mediocre. He is the best possible student one could get, and we have a tie which is forbidden for me to speak of without the Hokage's permission, an S-class secret," explained Shursui. "I see, but I fail to see any connection between a prodigy and an average. Regardless, I would like to hear him out on what he has to say about himself," said Fugaku. Seeing that he was being called out, Naruto replied, "Fugaku-san, I would appreciate it if you stop referring to me as mediocre. You may call me Uzumaki Naruto." Uchiha Naruto was never one to care about names and status. He either got his point across or remained silent. "The Jinchuriki, this is just what we need. If I play my cards right, we can have the QB working at the whim of the Uchiha," thought a power-hungry Fugaku. "Don't take any offense now, Naruto-kun. I was merely stating my general experience with those outside the clan. If you'd like to, may I ask Shursui your skill set?" asked Fugaku, to which Naruto nodded. "He has mastered the first of the 5 stages of elemental manipulation, can use the Shunshin, body flicker, to an acceptable degree, able to use the Taju Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, multi-shadow clone technique, and has perfect mastery over the Kami Jutsu, substitution technique. Furthermore, he has mastery over the other 2 Academy Ninjutsu, and can form an acceptable regular Bunshin, clone, despite his large chakra reserves, and I expect him to be able to do so and be better in the future as of continual chakra control exercises. Truly a prodigy to have mastered all this in 2 months' time. That too at the age of 5-inch, said Shursui proudly while he thought, I hope he doesn't ask which elements he has. By now, Fugaku was mentally drooling and said, "Feel free to go about the Uchiha territory, Naruto-kun. The 2 of you may leave." Flashback within a flashback end. From that day onwards, Fugaku had been very kind to Naruto and invited him and Shursui to dinner with his family on multiple occasions. He had developed a small interest in the children of the clan head, Sasuke and Itachi. Itachi more than Sasuke, though. The stoic Uchiha clan heir, who was considered antisocial, had taken to a friendship with Naruto like a fish to water. His mother Makoto was one of the kindest souls Naruto had met. In fact, she even considered Naruto as a son, and was viewed as a mother in return. Shaking his head clear of the past, he had overheard the Uchiha leader saying something along the lines of bending the Jinchuriki to the Uchiha's will. Such blatant betrayal made Naruto lose all respect for the man. Was all this just an illusion, Makoto Oba and Itachi and I? Was it all just to fool me? While the thought was crossing his mind, he unconsciously activated his Sharingan to reveal 2 tomos in both eyes. This alone showed how depressed he was. Luckily, he was in an isolated street at the time, where everyone would have seen his eyes. No, that was real. They weren't told of anything of Fugaku's plans. All the emotions exchanged between us were real. I had better watch my back. I'll go about as if nothing happened. After all, I get to meet with Mikoto Oba that way, thought Naruto. Flashback end. Later that day, Naruto had mastered the Shunshin. He had noticed that his Sharingan was a two-tomo, and so had Shui, who asked what happened. Being one of the people Naruto trusted, he got his reply, which caused a scornful look in Shui's eyes for the Uchiha clan head. Now then, I think it's finally time to start his Sharingan training. You must have already got the hang of using the Sharingan, but even then you must be aware that you aren't even having a glimpse of its true potential, said Shui. Well, other than not knowing its full abilities, I guess experience is a problem for me, replied Naruto. Now, then, show me the level of your eyes. Activate your Sharingan, requested Shui. Channeling chakra to his eyes, Naruto turned his bloodline on. 2 tomo were visible in both eyes. 1 tomo due to the initial start. But when did he? Actually, yes, he did face a life and death situation a year ago. He must have gotten a 1-2 tomo that day, and the other due to his emotions on the revelation with Fugaku, thought Shui, and said, "You must have had a painful life to already have reached the 2 tomo. I could do nothing about those years, but from here on out you will always have an ally, a friend, and a brother in me." "You don't have to, but I'd appreciate that," replied a jovial Naruto. "Anyways, turn off your eyes, and let's sit on the benches you made last year," said Shui, walking up to the first jutsu used by a student in front of him. Taking a seat, Shui began. "Now then, let me give you a basic understanding of the Sharingan. First, there is the 1 tomo, activated in moments of great desperation. It enables the user to predict movements and cast Genjutsu. The 2nd tomo, the level you're at, allows copying movement, and the other 2 abilities get a boost. It is awakened in moments of extreme tension or a life and death situation. The 3rd tomo is awakened when one makes a life-changing decision, one which will set out the path for him in the future. It gives a major boost to the previous abilities. This is the time when affinities are developed. This means that if you want to have an aptitude to all the abilities, you have to have a habit of using them all frequently." "Is that all? Or is there another level, Shirsu-sensei?" asked Naruto. Another thing was that, just like his mother, he gave Shui the pet name, Shirsu. Chuckling, Shui closed his eyes and channeling some chakra. Shui was activating his bloodline. When he opened them, instead of the normal 3 tomo pattern, we could see pattern of a 4-point pinwheel. This is it, the final level of the Sharingan. The strongest, Mangekyo Sharingan, is awakened due to the emotions faced when one loses someone close to them and blame themselves for it, or even kill their best friend themselves. One could do a lot with it, and there are some unique abilities, but there are 3 abilities all Mangekyo share: Tsukiyami, Moon Reader, Amaterasu, Heavenly Illumination, and Susanoo, he with the ability to help by all means. Some may not gain either one of Tsukiyami, Moon Reader, or Amaterasu, Heavenly Illumination, or even both, but Susanoo, he with the ability to help by all means, is available to every owner of the Mangekyo. However, there is a price: blindness. One loses the light in his eyes on overuse of the Mangekyo. There's a way to avoid that, but I'll tell you later. Naruto cringed at the requirements. "You must have faced a lot of pain, sensei, to achieve this level," said Naruto. "It's okay. I have gotten over it now. With this power, I can protect those precious to me even better," replied Shui. "Oh really? Not when I get strong enough that you have to depend on me to watch your back every second," challenged Naruto. "You're too young for that, you smartass," chided Shui, and then got serious. "Since you have a Sharingan at such an early, you are to master it first and foremost. You can currently handle the mental strain of 600 clones. You are to use 100 for chakra control. The Sharingan is quite chakra taxing, so it will be the best utilization of your reserves to use it with ungodly control. You will use the rest of the 500 and have your eyes mastered within a year. I know it's too fast, but I believe in you." "Hi Shirsu-sensei. With your help, I can have it down by a month with ease," replied a confident Naruto. "I hope that your confidence isn't misplaced. Go home and rest. Of course, you have to leave 200 clones for chakra control and send 100 to the library," said Shursui, but added as he remembered, "Hey Naruto, the Sharingan is the eye which reflects emotions. If you feel angry or vengeful, it will respond and make you stronger, but will intensify those emotions. In short, I would like you to learn how to control your emotions, as the Sharingan is an eye which intensifies your negative feelings and deepens your hatred." With that, he left in a shunshin. Otafar Uchiha Compound, Konoha. After thinking about what he should do, he thought that since it was evening, so he should go home after one stop. He figured that the best choice would be Mikoto Oba, his mother's teammate. Yes, he knew about that. To be more accurate, told by none other than the Uchiha matriarch herself. She recognized Naruto the moment he entered her line of sight. After all, he had Kushina's face. Entering the clan head's residence, he found it empty. He knew he was lucky, and only Mikoto Oba was home, and he knew just where she was. Upon giddily entering the kitchen, hoping to surprise his foster aunt, he found that it was empty. Turning around, dejected that the house was empty, he began to leave. Or he would have if he didn't feel two squishy melons pressed up against his back and two slender arms wrap around him in a hug. "You wouldn't happen to have forgotten about little old me now, would you?" "I feel so sad," said a voice in a mock-hurt tone. "Miko Oba!" exclaimed Naruto with renewed joy at the prospect of finding, rather being found by, his favorite person. "Naruto-kun, how have you been? Has Shursui been overworking you? Are you eating healthy? Did you forget your underwear? And what have I told you about the whole Oba thing?" asked Mikoto with genuine love and care for Naruto. Happy at the concern his mother figure was showing, he ignored the bombardment of questions and one very embarrassing one. He answered the last question. "It's okay. I haven't forgotten, Ka-chan." Since she was his mother figure, she was happy to be called one, especially since she was his godmother. "So, my little Naruto-kun, what has you so excited today? You remember when I told you that I'm Madara's great-grandson and have a Sharingan? How could he not let her know? He could trust her with his life. Well, Shirsu-sensei is going to start helping me with my eyes." "That's great, Naruto-kun," replied an equally excited Mikoto, but seeing his face lose some of the cheerfulness, she questioned, "What's wrong, Naruto-kun?" "It's just that today I remembered some of the worst moments of my life. The day I killed and ascended to the next level," said Naruto, pain visible in his tearful Sharingan, which was as visible as day to the Uchiha matriarch. "It's okay, baby. No matter what happens, I'll always be by your side, supporting you every step of the way," said Mikoto in an attempt to cheer up her godson. "Thank you, Ka-chan," replied Naruto, feeling genuinely happy that he had someone who cares for his well-being. "You know, if you want any pointers on how to better use your eyes, you can always come to me. Believe it or not, they used to call me the most efficient user of the Sharingan, seconded only by Uchiha Madara," said Mikoto. "I knew Ka-chan was awesome, but don't get too depressed when I say that you'll be the third best user. After all, you are looking at the soon-to-be best user of the eyes, trumping even the likes of Madara," said a giggling Naruto. "Oh my, such high-mark dream, but I'm sure that if anyone can do it, it's you," said Mikoto with confidence. "Thanks, Ka-chan," replied Naruto. "Well, it's getting late, so you'd best be getting home now. I hope you come back to visit soon," said Mikoto. "Hi, Ka-chan. See you later," replied Naruto, leaving in a swirl of leaves, but not before placing a kiss on her forehead. Chuckling at the mess made by the boy, Mikoto said, "That boy, what am I going to do with him? He could at least leave out the leaves," knowing full well about her son figure's mastery over the Shunshin. Otafar Naruto's mindscape. After coming home, Naruto decided to give the Kyuubi a visit. The fox must have gotten lonely, and since they were bound together till death, why not give it company? "Jokibi, how have you been? Still have your sanity intact, or should I just leave you alone to your beauty sleep?" greeted Naruto, getting a grunt in response. "Why are you here, mortal? How could I possibly wish to be in your company?" replied Kyuubi. "Can't I come and visit my best friend for once?" retorted Naruto, enjoying the banter, but then got serious. "I've mastered all that I was given on my parents' beginner scroll. Chakra control, Academy Jutsu, Shuriken Jutsu, and some basic Taijutsu. So when are you planning for me next?" "To be honest, I was hoping you would take longer than that, but you are proving yourself to be slightly worthy for my help. I won't help you unless absolutely necessary in my opinion. You are to train as the little Uchiha tells you to," replied Kyubi. "That means quite a few years then." "Well, see you later," said Naruto as he was about to leave. "Wait a second. Answer this one question first. What are your views on everlasting world peace?" asked Kyubi. Seeing no harm in replying, he answered in a serious tone. "Peace is not something one can grab in his hand. One would have to put his life at stake for it, and even then, the results would be temporary. In this cruel world, a path to true peace seems impossible." Nothing at all like Rikudo Jiji, thought Kyubi, and said, "Very well, you may leave." "I wonder why you would ask that. Anyways, see you later," retorted Naruto. "As if I would ever want to," was the reply of the being of mass destruction. Otafar == Uzumaki Estate Master Bedroom, Konoha. That was an interesting conversation. I wonder why he would ask me about world peace. An impossibility if you ask me, said Naruto to himself, and went to sleep. He had a big day tomorrow, and he would need all the rest he could get. After all, mastering the Sharingan in a year, 600 clones or not, was not an easy task, and he was just 6 years old. However, he was not one to bend down to any challenge. Otafar Training Ground 4, Konoha. Uchiha Shursui and Uchiha Naruto could be seen standing in the center of the ground. After using the Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, shadow clone technique, and making 4 clones, Shursui said, "Now, then Naruto, you will make 600 and send 100 for chakra control training. As for the other 500, they will divide into groups of 100 each and go with a clone of mine and do as I am about to say. One group will practice reading and predicting movements. Another will practice Sharingan Jinjutsu. One more will be practicing copying movements in Jutsu. And the remaining 2 groups will develop a Taijutsu style, which can be used with and without the Sharingan, of course under the guidance of my clones and a few scrolls." As the clones left to do as told, Naruto, without the need for Shursui to speak, activated his weight seals and began physical training. "He makes me so proud," thought Shursui, fully believing in his student's ability to achieve the impossible. "If you need any help, don't be shy to ask. His student has never once needed any extra help." And this was how Uchiha Naruto's Sharingan training began. Chapter 5, Assimilation. 1 year after Sharingan training, Training Ground 4, Konoha. There was a question anyone who knew about Naruto's training, and once even Naruto himself, would ask, why does he not start with the basics like everyone else? That's the thing, he's not everyone else. He is special, has 2 of the strongest bloodlines and an extremely potent chakra, expected to be comparable with Biju in the future. As such, it is only fitting for him to get control. Now it would be a simple task to teach a prodigy the basics, but why not lay the foundations for understanding any complexity? This was the reply Shursui gave to Naruto, along with an added, "Besides, how much more basic can you get? You're doing chakra control training and physical exercises, practice on elemental control, and whatnot. The only thing you don't have a base on is a suitable fighting style. And that's not too complicated, especially with your natural talent at learning Kage Bunshin, shadow clone, or not." The last part was said as Naruto hadn't started Sharingan training, hence had not started developing a Taijutsu style. Currently, we can see our favorite blonde facing off against his sensei. Not much had changed about him other than gaining some height. Both fighters had their Sharingan ready, 3 Tomo against 2 Tomo. "Let's get this dance started," Tabeo exclaimed and expected Naruto, who dashed forward. "Right, Hajime," said Shursui and sprinted to counter his student. A loud echo resounded, their fists clashed. Glaring in each other's eyes, they cast Jinjutsu. Of course, Shursui held back his strongest. Seeing that no one was getting the upper hand, Naruto attempted to kick Shursui, but got his leg grabbed. Shursui was mid-process of throwing Naruto on the ground when he got a roundhouse kick at the back of his head, courtesy of our hero. Shursui was about to crash onto the earth, but he regained his bearings and steadied himself, landing a kick on Naruto, who was sent flying into a tree, imprinting his figure on it. Picking himself up, Naruto cursed under his breath. He went through a series of hand seals. Kitan, Gokaku no Jutsu, fire release, great fireball technique. A large raging fireball flew at Shursui, who used the Korami, substitution, just in time to get out of the way. Shursui then countered. Katan, Hozenka, Sumabini, fire release, Phoenix Sage Flower Nail Crimson. Multiple blazing balls of fire raced towards Naruto, who used another jutsu to defend himself. Suidun, Suijin Hiki, water release, water formation wall. From the atmosphere, the water vapor became the source of a giant wall of water. Good job, Naruto. No one since the Night Aim has been able to do that. Although I suppose that this is to be expected as your already strong primary affinity for wind, lightning, and water was boosted by your circumstances complemented Shursui and used the Shunshin, body flicker, to appear in front of Naruto. A month or so after Naruto's affinities were confirmed, his case was taken to the Sandaime for an explanation. According to the old Hokage, the Rakuto Sennin, sage of the Six Paths, had the Rinnegan Eye. As legend had it, the Rinnegan granted the user control over all 5 elements. The progenitor of the ninja world was also said to be the ancestor of the Uchiha, Senju, and the Uzumaki, although they were a branch of the Senju, which separated a long time ago due to possessing a mutated version of the Senju's bloodline. So the conclusion Ruzan drew was that Naruto had the blood of all 3 clans, hence was the closest thing to a blood relative of the sage. So due to this, he got attuned to all the elements, while his primary ones, inherited from his parents and one he got naturally, wind, water, and lightning respectively, were given a boost. Naruto might awaken the Rinnegan, though there was a major unknown which Naruto felt that he should doubt. Back to the battle. Shursui came directly in front of Naruto. Sharingan eyes met. Shursui attempted to punch Naruto, but with his Sharingan, he saw it coming and caught it. He then used both hands and threw his sensei over his shoulder into the ground. Taking out a kunai, he placed it on Shursui's neck. Even though you held back, I won, cheered Naruto, feeling confident in his victory. However, in an instant, the world shattered like glass and broke apart. We could see Shursui standing behind Naruto with a kunai placed at his neck. Foolish little student, you don't have enough attention. I had expected you to notice the Jinjutsu when our eyes met, but you were young, so it is to be expected, said Shursui. In an instant, Naruto started to glow and the words left his tongue. Aren't you the foolish one? Bunshin Daibakuha, clone great explosion. And he exploded. Take that, said Naruto, but felt cold steel on his neck. Shunshin no Shursui, Shursui the teleporter, did not get the name for being a slouch. As I was saying, you need more than Nin, Tai, and Jinjutsu to beat me, said Shursui. Did you formulate a plan? No, you just went with the flow. Remember my words, no matter how powerful you are, without strategy, you are nothing. I know, but you've got to admit that I'm better than before, exclaimed Naruto after Shursui let him go. They've been having monthly test spars ever since Naruto gained proficiency in the use of the Sharingan. I'll say that you're good. You've made great progress with your Sharingan. You managed to keep up with me when I was performing at high Chunin level. Your prediction and Jinjutsu skills with the Sharingan are B to a rank and Jutsu speed is on Chunin level. That Bunshin Daibakuha, clone great explosion, surprised me. Where did you learn that? Sitting down, Naruto replied, you remember that spar that you had with Itachi and II? Flashback. We could see one Uchiha Naruto sitting on a ground, looking profusely at something with his Sharingan active, of course after Itachi's attention left him. Itachi had the Sharingan active, under which were long, pronounced tear troughs. He had jet black hair that was pulled back in a low ponytail, and his face was framed with center-parted bangs that extended to his chin. He wore a black shirt with the Uchiha crest on the back, black umbu pants, and shinobi sandals. Currently, the Uchiha clan heir was in a spar with his best friend. Katan, Goryuka no Jutsu, fire release, great dragon fire technique. A large inferno kindled into the shape of a menacing dragon. The dragon raced towards Shursui. However, in a last-second Shunshin, body flicker, Shursui managed to escape the destructive mass of fire. However, his success was short-lived as he came face-to-face with a glowing Itachi. Bunshin Daibakuha, clone great explosion. Cursing under his breath, Shursui performed a kawarami substitution towards safety, but his clothes got charred around the edges. Meanwhile, our onlooker managed to figure out the mechanism of the jutsu and copied it. Now I just have to practice it. I'll surprise Sensei with this, said an excited Naruto. While Naruto was assimilating the technique, the fight had ended in a draw. Both fighters were low on chakra. Let's get going, Naruto, said a worn-down Shursui. Just a minute, replied Naruto as he whispered something into Itachi's ear, at which he got a nod and smile in response. Flashback end. Well, I told him that I'll learn the jutsu, so I'll send 10 clones over to him to practice. He said to surprise you when the opportunity appears. Don't worry, I didn't reveal the Sharingan just yet, but I think Itachi and I can be trusted with that bit of information, said Naruto. So Itachi taught you? Yes, you can tell him next year. By then you'll be able to have a guaranteed win against the average Chunin without your eyes. Remember one thing, never, and I mean never, get too reliant upon your Sharingan. This is the reason most Uchiha get killed in battle. Say you are rendered unable to see. What would you do? Replied Shursui. Anyways, I think that your foundation has been laid, and now let's go over the easy stuff. I will teach you Kenjutsu. Do me a favor and look for Kushi-sensei's katana. Bring it after we're done with the basics. I expect you to be able to master them in a month, said Shursui seriously. Hi, Sensei. And don't worry, the Sharingan is my ace in the hole, not my standard kunai, which I throw at every person I fight, replied the blonde. Good. I'll give you details tomorrow. Go and rest for today, were the words leaving Shursui's tongue as he left in a shunshin. Otafar equals. Uchiha Compound, Konoha. Naruto had taken to the rooftops in order to avoid the nuisances that were Konoha's citizens, although he wouldn't have had any problems while moving through the streets as people conveniently opened a path for him, hoping to avoid him. Landing in front of the clan head's house, Naruto sensed no other chakra signatures other than Mikoto's, and who he guessed was a visitor. Yes, our favorite blonde was a censor. He awakened his ability one day when Shursui was a little late for training and he was getting impatient. Shursui landed a few dozen feet behind him, hoping to surprise him, but got found out when Naruto's freshly awakened censor ability tracked him down. Ever since then, he had made 50 clones, since he could handle more mental strain with ease to hone his sensory skills. Anyways, he entered the compound to see Mikoto and a girl around his age who was about to leave. She had the typical Uchiha features, coal black eyes and raven hair. She had a cute face, according to Naruto, and her hair reached down to the middle of her back. She tied a blue ribbon over her head, which on Naruto's opinion made her look even more majestic. She wore a black blouse with the Uchiha crest on the back and dark blue shorts that reached just below her knees. She had fair skin and a slender but feminine figure, which showed promise in the future. She was just a few inches shorter than Naruto. In the year of Sharingan training, Naruto had matured a lot and had gotten far ahead of the cooties concept. When their eyes met, they both immediately blushed. It seemed that the girl was also aware of more than what the average 7-year-old should. Saying a rushed goodbye to Mikoto, she quickly attempted to run outside. Keyword, attempted. She tripped and crashed into Naruto, who with greater reflexes caught the girl. The position they were in made for an amusing scene. Ah, young love, it never ceases to amaze me to what extent to which it runs, cooed Mikoto looking at the scene. Naruto was sitting cross-legged and had the girl in his arms. Said girl had her head leaning on Naruto's chest. The two of them were surprisingly enjoying the position, but upon hearing Mikoto, the both blushed and shouted in unison, "It's not like that." Now, Naruto, Nana-chan, I'm just kidding. However, seeing you enjoy that position made me wonder if I'll be a grandmother a little too early, said Mikoto, knowing full well above the children's unnatural knowledge of the human body. Ka-chan, they both shouted again in unison. Great, you two can subconsciously read each other's thoughts and say everything in perfect unison. A perfect couple, said an amused Mikoto, finding entertainment at the embarrassed children's expense. An embarrassed Naruto and Nana stopped giving attention to Mikoto and talked to each other. Thank for catching me, Naruto-kun, said grateful but still blushing Nana. Think nothing of it. What do you say, want to be friends, Nana-chan, replied Naruto, extending his right hand toward her. Sure, replied an ecstatic Nana. See cute, was the thought of a blushing Naruto. So I'll leave now. Jana, Naruto-kun, Ka-chan, said Nana, this time managing to leave without any problems. So Ka-chan, who was she and why did she call you Ka-chan? I also saw sadness in her eyes, no matter how well she tried to hide it, asked Naruto. She's the daughter of a late, old friend of mine. She's an orphan and lives with her aunt. She has the Sharingan as her parents were killed in front of her by enemy ninja, and she was spared. I found her playing alone in the park when she was 4. I took the place of her mother figure ever since. She's a lot like you actually. Take out the QB and turn you into a girl, and she is the result, replied Mikoto sadly. She doesn't have many friends, does she? Inquired Naruto. Yes, you're actually each other's first friend. You because you're seen with prejudice in her, because she's too mature for her age, she replied, again in a sad tone. Where exactly does she live? Asked Naruto curiously. Oh my, already making plans for children, teased Mikoto, at which Naruto blushed. Just kidding, she lives in the house right there, pointing at the house to the right of the one on the opposite side. I see. I'll go and spend time with her often. I know that it'll make her happy. After all, that's what I want, said Naruto, hoping to help his new friend overcome her grief. You do that. I'm sure it'll help the both of you. Plus, it'll hook you two up, make a match, teased Mikoto, readying herself for the onslaught by her godson. Ka-chan, shouted Naruto, tackling her and using Shunshin, body flicker, to take the both of them to the bedroom where a pillow fight took place. Otafar Uzumaki Estate, Konoha. Walking in front of his house, Naruto muttered, honestly, Ka-chan can go overboard sometimes, but thought though I wouldn't mind if me and Nana got together. He had spent an hour with the Uchiha matriarch. The pillow fight didn't last more than 20 minutes and left after cleaning up, which took half an hour, during which they chatted and then some. It was nighttime, and Naruto decided that he should find the katana and go to sleep. Looking all around the house, he finally reached a room where he saw a variety of weapons. Whistling, Naruto said, now that's a jackpot. Let's see, here it is, finding his mother's sword, the Aka Shometsu, Red Annihilation. It had a red sheath and a black grip with golden diamonds decorating it. It had a metallic silver blade and a black guard with a pattern of a dragon carved on it. On the sheath was a band which could be tied around the waist or over the shoulder to carry the sword. A note was pinned beside the rack on which the katana was placed. Dear Naruto, this is the Aka Shometsu, Red Annihilation, the katana which helped me gain the moniker, aka No Sure, Red Death. If you're reading this note, that means that I'm dead. In that case, find Uchiha Shursui, my student, and ask him for help in learning how to use a sword. I am giving this sword to you, and once you've become proficient enough in the art of sealing, you can open the seal hidden behind this rack to get the other sword, originally intended for you. With lots of love. Your Ka-chan. Uzumaki Kushina. Thanks, Ka-chan. You don't know how much you've helped me in the past 2 years, said a grateful Naruto. Putting the sword back in the rack, Naruto went to bed. However, he suddenly felt his head hurt a little, no too severely, but the damage was there. Ugh, must be because of the Kage Bunshin, shadow clone, training. I'll have to stop using clones for doing everything that I have to. Other than the 50 clones who will begin practicing Fuinjutsu, sealing art, thought a tired Naruto, finally managing to sleep as the mini migraine had left. Otafar . Next day, training ground for Konoha. Sitting at the ground, Naruto was in deep meditation. He was, after all, suffering the basic side effects of Kage Bunshin, shadow clone, training. Therefore, he had to focus to get his mind back into shape. Arriving in a Shunshin, Shursui greeted Naruto. Oheyo sensei, replied Naruto. Now, then, Naruto, you will make 600 clones, and son. Shursui was saying, but noticed that Naruto was uncomfortable, so he asked concerned, what's wrong, Otudo? I can't use clones for training, at least for another year. I'm starting to face headaches. Sorry to disappoint you. Nichan, replied a slightly dejected Naruto. It's all right, Naruto. It's only normal that you face the side effects, In fact, you've lasted a year longer than I had expected, said Shursui, in an attempt to cheer his student up. Anyways, I've left a few clones for training in Fuinjutsu, sealing art. 50 is all I'd like to use in this year, said Naruto. Good thinking. As for the things I will teach you, I'll push the deadline to 2 months. You will have to master the basic Kenjutsu katas in a month. In the next month, you will start learning proper Kenjutsu, and will practice what you have learned up until now. I want you to refine your taijutsu style, and I'll teach you an occasional jutsu every now and then. As I said yesterday, you are a little weak in strategy. Therefore, we will play strategy games, and whilst doing so, I'll randomly ask a question on what you would do in certain situations and judge your decisions, ordered Shursui. Hi, Sensei. Clones make things too easy, retorted Naruto. You're determined. I expect nothing but the best from you. We'll do something about your Mokuton in the 10 months, after which you will join the academy, and our little training sessions will be reduced greatly, said Shursui. Understood. Don't worry. As long as we get to meet each other, I don't mind us parting, replied Naruto, picking up the bokken, wooden sword which Shursui brought. Naruto began practicing the basic slashes as guided by Shursui. And so Uchiha Naruto began his Kenjutsu training, knowing full well that this was his last year under Shursui's tutelage. Chapter 6. Sowing the Seeds to Hell. Unknown underground location. The room was not all that special. There were no decorations or any notable features other than the essential furniture. The door was a standard Japanese sliding door, and the walls were a dull purple, made of stone. We can see a man sitting in a room with 3 other people with animal masks. Normally, they would be considered Konoha Umbu. However, the multicolor property of the markings instead of the regular red suggested otherwise. The masked people were peculiar, as is, but what was even more eye-catching was the man sitting on chair. He had a cross mark on his chin, obviously a war scar. His eye, rather the one visible eye, was small and squinted, and wrinkles adorned his old face. Bandages covered his right eye. His arm was tied up by a bandage and seemed unusable. He had a wooden cane on by him. He wore a white shirt and a black robe, which covered his bandaged arm. All in all, he looked to be a crippled old man who had faced the horrors of war. However, the strange scene entailed the old man, who seemingly had little to no authority, ordering the youngsters on what to do. I have heard reports that the Jinchuriki has the Sharingan and evidence suggesting that he has the Mokuton. I want you to tail him and verify this, said the old man. Aye. Danzo-sama, replied the 3 people. Root really is a masterpiece. Order them to do something and they'll follow it to the letter. They even killed that Uchiha couple who were about to rat me out, but that is to be expected, thought the newly identified Danzo about his personal army. Be warned, Uchiha Shursui is commonly seen around the boy. You are not to let him know of your presence. I'd rather not have that monkey of a Hokage ruin my plans, added Danzo, as the troops left. I need that Jinchuriki loyal to Konoha, or else he will prove to be a threat very difficult to eliminate, and not just because of Hiruzen's protection, said Danzo, aloud to himself. Otafar == 2 months after Naruto's basic Kenjutsu began, training ground for Konoha. Clang, clang, the sound of metal hitting metal could be heard resounding in the ground. In the center of the ground, Uchiha Shursui and Uchiha Naruto could be seen clashing their blades against each other. Naruto had several cuts and bruises all around him, even though a lot of them had managed to heal. Shursui, on the other hand, was in perfect condition, a few specks of dust here and there, but other than that, no considerable damage. Good job, Naruto. You almost managed to nick me there. You're just not fast enough to beat me. You could give any Chunin a run for their money in the Kenjutsu department and manage to come out on top. Unbelievably excellent considering that you're only about 7.5 years old. Congratulations, complimented Shursui. Collapsing to the ground, finally feeling tired, Naruto replied, I suppose so, accepting his weakness compared to the world. In the 2 months, Naruto had managed to get a perfect form for his taijutsu style and got the concept of Kenjutsu. All he needed was some experience with the sword. Let's see. You have more than enough ninjutsu skills for your age, since your body can't handle strain greater than that of B-rank jutsu. You know some A-rank jutsu for emergency situations and have Chunin level speed without the weight seals. Your taijutsu and kinjutsu can only be improved with experience. You have a decent set of genjutsu, up to A rank with the Sharingan and B rank without it. You have a general idea of using different types of weapons and have almost perfect accuracy with projectiles. I suppose all you can do to improve is use weight seals for physical training and practice the rest. You're no master, but you can manage to understand a considerable amount of the intermediate seals as expected of an Uzumaki. And I suppose you can call yourself a strategist. After all, you now fully utilize your considerably high IQ while forming battle plans and strategies for most tasks. I guess it's time to get started on your Mokuton, Judge Shursui. You always peg me up an extra level or two. While I agree that I can beat the Academy Chunin, but the more active ones, I'm not too sure, admitted Naruto. It's a good thing that you're not arrogant like the other Uchiha, said a proud Shursui who thought, I'm sure he'll be the one to overcome the Uchiha's curse of hatred. Actually thinking twice, there isn't much holding back the curse from affecting him except luck, not knowing whether or not the boy's entire life might be affected by the curse. So, what are we going to do about my Mokuton? Asked Naruto. From what I know, the Mokuton is basically a mixture of the water and earth style. There's actually a Mokuton user in the Umbu, but he just doesn't seem to have whatever it was that made the Shodaime a legend. I believe that you will be the one who will surpass Senju Hashirama, said a confident Shursui. Water and earth there. I suppose I'll check the mixture I find most natural, figure Naruto. Otafar. Time skip. Next day, Uzumaki Estate, Konoha. Naruto and Shursui had spent the whole day on trying to figure out the strongest possible combination of the elements. Naruto first made a wooden pillar. Shursui then used an A-rank fire jutsu to test it. When the most fireproof combination had been found, Shursui had Naruto made more pillars and try to burn them, and if they could remain standing, cut them in half with his katana. After a long process of trial and error, they managed to find a combination which was both fireproof. Not that it couldn't be burnt, but it took a long time and only slightly faster results with a strong or multiple fire jutsu. Other than that, Shursui managed to judge the combinations until Naruto managed to make a pillar that he found difficult to cut. He then had his student practice making a few more pillars, which were all tested. Naruto, being as unpredictable as he was, managed to use up almost all of his chakra reserves to use Mokuton Hijitsu. Jukai Koten would release secret technique, nativity of a world of trees, although not anywhere near the scale nor quality of the Shodaime according to the Sandaime. But nevertheless, this was an achievement of a 7, borderline 8-year-old, and he should be proud of it. After the event had transpired, Naruto was barely conscious and had to rest as he used up a major portion of his reserves, although less would have been used if he knew the hand signs. The blonde had to rest the whole day, and since no one could enter his house except his friend Nana and Makoto, Nana was sent to care for him. Naruto had known enough about seals to know where the main seal of the barrier was located, and somehow, in a way even he didn't understand, Naruto added Nana's and Makoto's chakra to the seal's recognition systems. Probably had something to do with the Uzumaki's natural affinity to seals. Currently, our hero was stirring back to the real world. Everything was still groggy, but Naruto could distinctively feel a weight on his chest. Regaining his bearings, Naruto was truly happy at what he saw. She must have stayed the whole night to watch over me after we came home, thought Naruto on seeing Nana sleeping cutely and peacefully on his chest. Letting the girl rest, he drifted into his own thoughts. I'm sure I felt a few presences the moment I used that Mokuton jutsu. Probably must be me being paranoid, but to be safe, I'll keep my sensory abilities sharp and watch my back. Honestly, this is supposed to be my home, but other than the Uchiha, the villagers, and this new group, probably belonging to Konoha, why do they all have to treat me as something inhuman? If things keep on going at this rate, I'll have to leave Konoha as a whole. It won't be a matter of trust it or not, as my parents say. And I always have this distinct feeling that everything bad that happens to me and my previous people is directly related to Konoha. How can anyone be such a cause for concern? Ending his thoughts, Naruto saw his pseudo-girlfriend, and soon expected to be one, wake up with a rather cute yawn. Looking at Naruto, she bonked him on the head and said, "Baka, why don't you be more careful? You're going to kill me with all the worry you cause in me." Jovial at the prospect of having someone to care for him, Naruto tactfully decided to lighten the mood. "Hi, Nana-sama. I'll be careful from now on. Forgive me, your highness." "Not good enough," retorted Nana. "Come on, is anything enough to satisfy you?" questioned Naruto in a mock-irritated tone. "Oh, I don't know about that," said Nana, her hands rubbing Naruto's rather muscular chest, her eyes having a certain glint to them. "We're too young for that, you pervert," retorted Naruto. "You're no fun. At least learn to play along," pouted Nana. All in due time, Kukuku chuckled Naruto darkly and maneuvered the girl and had her sitting on his lap, his hands tracing circles on her clothed abdomen. As if on cue, Mikoto walked in to check on Naruto, but upon looking at the scene said, "Practicing for the future, are we? I suppose I can leave you to your work since Naruto seems to be fine," and pretended to leave. "It's not like that, K-chan," retorted the two, jumping on either side of the bed. "You're both so fun to tease," joked a giggling Mikoto, at which the children pouted, which in turn made Mikoto squeal. "Kawaii. Now let's ignore immature adults and get breakfast ready," said Naruto in a mock-serious tone, at which the Uchiha matriarch magically got a twig in her hand and dejectedly started to trace circles on the floor. In about 10 minutes, the three people cooked up a breakfast of pancakes and honey. The time eating was fairly quiet, with the occasional giggle between the two children who had an evil glint in their eyes which unnerved Mikoto. After the meal was finished, the children suddenly rushed to the bedroom, which made the remaining Uchiha curious. Finding no harm in following them, she went for the room. Upon taking a step in the room, she was faced with a bombardment of pillows. But instead of falling back, she was tackled onto the bed, where our favorite two little devils jumped to either side of the woman and drew their hands closer to her. Upon seeing the malicious grins adorning their adorable faces, the Uchiha nervously said, "Hey guys, I was just joking back then, Oh wait, ha ha ha. Come on, stop it. Ha ha ha." Ignoring her pleas, the cute little demons continued their merciless onslaught at their quest to tickle her to unconsciousness. "Sorry, Ka-chan, but this is for your own good. We always have to teach you a lesson on teasing us as payback," said the two in unison. Back to Mikoto, she was a mess. The two had so much energy that they continued to tickle her for an eternity until she finally reached her blissful release, that was her unconsciousness. The two kids got tired as well and straightened her up and slept along either side of her. OTFAR equals. Time skip, 3 hours. Drifting back into reality, Mikoto felt that the sleep she had was the most enjoyable one of her life, and the one for which she was the most thankful. Trying to get up, she felt her arms bound by something. Don't tell me they bound me to the bed. However, looking at her sides, she found Naruto and Nana holding her arms, cuddling with them with a cute expression on their faces which brought a smile to her own. As soon as she was done admiring their cuteness, they both got up on sync and yawned, making for an adorable scene. The two kids were in the process of straightening themselves up when they heard a sound. Clink. Mikoto got a camera out of thin air and got a picture which the two would later find a copy of in their respective rooms. Luckily for Mikoto, she managed to hide the camera before it was seen. In another stroke of luck, the kids figured that it was just paranoia hitting him like a ton of bricks. The blonde remembered his training and in 5 minutes got ready and was about to leave. However, he was stopped by Mikoto. "Sure, Sway said that you will take a break today, Naruto-kun." No, but I have to." "Yes. No. Yes. That's perfect," said an eccentric Naruto, at which the two females thought that he had lost it. "You two, follow." "Now," said the only male in the room in a rush, confusing the girls. Not waiting for a reply, Naruto grabbed their wrists and dragged them off their feet. OTFAR equals. Route headquarters, Konoha. Report, demanded Danzo. "Hi, Danzo-sama." The Jinchuriki is quite strong and has ties inside the Uchiha clan. His mother figure is the clan matriarch, and his best friend is the daughter of the shinobi you had killed. He can use the Mokuton and has the Sharingan. In fact, if we were even 10 feet closer to his Mokuton jutsu, we would have been killed, replied the Foundation troop. At this, The usually stoic Danzo's eyes widened noticeably, and he said, I see. You may go now, at which the emotionless puppets left. That boy, as things are right now, I am unable to take him. He is well guarded, sure sway as a teacher. Sarutobi's constantly watching eyes. The Uchihas back up while strolling the village, and his parents' accursed seals protecting him at home. I suppose I'll have to get closer to him and deceive him into joining me. I can use that Nana girl as blackmail, said Danzo, to no one in particular. Otafar equals. Uzumaki Training Ground, Konoha. Now, then Ka-chan, Nana-chan, since Shirsu-sensei isn't training me, me and Nana are going to train under Mrs. Most Efficient Sharingan User. You had better not pull any punches, Ka-chan. I'm quite strong, said an over-enthusiastic Naruto. Wait a second, I'm sure Nana-chan doesn't want to do any training, stalled Makoto. Actually, I wouldn't mind having practice with my Sharingan, replied Nana. Kukuku, don't say I didn't warn you, said Mikoto darkly, creeping the children a little at the sudden change in the woman's demeanor. Getting over the sense of dread, Naruto said. That's what sensei always says. Bring it. Getting into a temporary taijutsu stance. I'll surprise her later. Let's go, Nana. Aye, here we come, Ka-chan, said Nana, as the two young Sharingan users charged at the experienced user. However, they suddenly stopped, surprising Mikoto. Nana hasn't received any training, has she? I suppose we will have to postpone this match. I'll go do some chakra exercises and Fuinjutsu training. Nana, you train with Ka-chan. We'll have a match in a few months, said Naruto. Hey, I was just about to have fun, pouted Nana. Now, Nana-chan, let's go do some practice in the Uchiha training ground, made especially for Sharingan training. Narabaka won't know what hit him when we're done, said Mikoto. I'll be able to take you both on by then, boasted Naruto. However, Mikoto suddenly dismantled into a flock of crows and moved behind Naruto and bonked him on the head from. Getting arrogant, are we? Teased Mikoto. Ow, isn't that a Tachinai's jutsu? Retorted Naruto. Who do you think taught him that? Said Mikoto, and took Nana away with her in a shunshin. Boy, do I have to work hard if Ka-chan is training Nana, said Naruto, as he made 50 clones. Half went to do chakra control, and the other to Fuinjutsu. He himself began physical training, thinking of having Shursui make him do more than just Mokuton training. Otafar equals. Next day, training ground 4. Both Naruto and Shursui appeared quite early in the morning, as usual. They both sat on the benches which Naruto made on day 1 and remained silent. That is until Naruto yawned. I see you're all rested up and better than ever, said Shursui. Sensei, requested Naruto. I want to do more than Mokuton right now. I think that I have recovered enough to handle the mental stress of 150 clones, probably 200, but less is safer. I'll send 25 each for Fuinjutsu and chakra control. I want to learn more advanced things with the remaining 100, Mokuton included. What got you all motivated? Is it your girlfriend? Joked Shursui, bit one look at Naruto, and he said, Don't tell me I'm right. Oh man, are you progressing quickly? Her dictating you and all. It's not like that, Baka-sensei. Me and Nana will have a match, and I might have challenged Mikoto-ka. He said the last part rather sheepishly. Now, that was foolish. Challenging one of Konoha's Shizata's Death sisters. Your mother, Aka Red Death, and your godmother, Karai Dark Death. You had better work hard then, replied Shursui. Now then, send about 50 clones for Mokuton training. The rest of the clones will master all that you already know. Actually, leave 25 for some special things I want to teach you, such as my Birzaburido, Blaze Blade, Kenjutsu style. Its theory may actually be of use to you. You yourself will do your regular physical training at 5 times the amount of weight you're used to. I'll have spars with you from time to time. Weights on, both Kenjutsu and Taijutsu. Tapping Naruto's weight seals. Shursui greatly increased the force applied on Naruto's body, at which said boy fell to the ground. Damn, this is rough. This had better be worth it. I want to have more progress than ever by the end of these 10 months, said Naruto, amidst a barrage of curses. Thus forth, Uzumaki Uchiha Naruto began his final few months of training under his sensei. Chapter 7. Not even close. Training ground for Konoha. The sky was red, clouds black. We could find our favorite genetic anomaly tied to a wooden post. His arms were kept to the sides, so as to prevent the formation of hand seals. Not that it would help. Shursui was standing with a blade in his hand, blood freshly dripping from it. Another strange thing was that the world was black, red, and white. No. No. This is not happening. This isn't real. Naruto kept saying to himself, as if it were a mantra, "Say Shirsu-sensei, please stop this already." "No, Naruto, I'm afraid this is for your own good," replied Shursui. "You do want to be able to protect your precious people, right?" "Of course. But this is too much," said an anguished Naruto with 4 lifeless bodies at his feet. Uchiha Nana, Uchiha Makoto, Uzumaki Maya, and Uchiha Itachi. As the scene changed to one in which he killed the aforementioned people, he fell on his knees. "Shirai, please stop this. I can't bear the loss of them." "Then do something about it. I already told you what you need to do," replied Shursui coolly. He had his Mangekyo Sharingan activated and was using a much weaker and considerably less straining version of the Tsukuyami, Moon Reader. After witnessing many similar scenes, Naruto felt that he was helpless for too long. "Damn it, I'm too weak. I need power. I have to be stronger. I won't let this happen, ever," exclaimed Naruto, shouting, "Heiche!" In a burst of blue, the world shattered apart like glass. In reality, we could see Naruto's Sharingan gaining a Tomo each. "Congratulations, Naruto! You've unlocked your 3 Tomo Sharingan in this pseudo-crisis situation," complimented Shursui. "So this is how our accursed clan gains power," said Naruto mockingly. "I suppose it's only logical. Pain makes everyone stronger after all. I hope you don't hate me for this, Naruto. I had to do this. Certain developments have taken place in these past 10 months, which force my hand. Believe me when I say that you shouldn't even have a 1 Tomo Sharingan until you were at least a genin," said Shursui. "It's fine. You were only trying to help me. I'm grateful. I'm still far too weak. I need to have enough strength to protect those most precious to me, especially Nana and Maya." Yes, Naruto had found another person whom he could honestly call someone to whom he could entrust his life. Flashback. It had been 2 months since Naruto had began his last period of training. He had made quite some progress, even managing to get a grip on his sensei's kenjutsu style. But his skill set was a story for another day. Makoto had decided to take Naruto, Nana, and Shursui on a trip to a famous village in Hai no Kuni, the Land of Fire, renowned for its hot springs and majestic view of the sea. Itachi and Sasuke had left with their father to an Uchiha hideout near the border of Kaminari no Kuni, Land of Lighting, and wouldn't come back until a month later. The village was located a few miles inland from the coast of Hai no Kuni, the Land of Fire, and a short way from the farthest islands of Mizu no Kuni, the Land of Water. Makoto had organized this trip after coordinating with Shursui to give their students a well-deserved break. The journey was about 3 hours from Konoha at a shinobi's pace. Upon reaching the village, Makoto and Nana immediately left for shopping, while Shursui went to book rooms in a hotel, leaving our favorite blonde on his own. It was the first time Naruto had seen a civilian village, and he found it a little odd as he was more accustomed to seeing a shinobi jumping on a rooftop every now and then and ninja equipment shops spread out. It was also a bit strange for him to not be glared at. In fact, the people actually smiled at him. Although that was mostly in gratitude, as he helped some old people with their luggage or helped someone find a missing object, small acts of kindness. Another thing Naruto realized was that he was too serious and uptight. He hardly spent any time to cool down in favor of training. Suddenly breaking out of the routine was slightly disturbing for the blonde anomaly. Breaking out of his musings, he saw something he wished never happened to another. In front of him on the ground laid a girl around his age, malnourished and in rags. No one seemed to care about her. In fact, she was sent a glare every now and then. Having seen enough, Naruto masked his anger and went to a random civilian. He asked, "Excuse me, sir, who is this girl and why isn't anyone helping her?" The civilian in turn chuckled slightly before replying, "I'll tell you one thing, that's not a girl. It's a demon in human flesh." It calls itself Uzumaki. Naruto's eyes widened a little. Something. I don't know why anyone would help her. She's just a demon who curses our lives. Naruto had heard enough and dismissed the fool. He was angry, scratch that. He was downright furious. Not only was one of his family poorly treated, but was treated almost as bad as him, yet had no one to help her unlike him. If he didn't do something about it, he wouldn't be Uzumaki Naruto. The girl in question was unconscious due to being malnourished and tired generally. She had fiery red hair, which reached her shoulders and was covered on grime and dirt. Seeing her condition would make anyone pity her and want to help. Naruto tried waking her up, but when that didn't seem to work, he carried her bridal style, earning surprised looks and glares from the surrounding people. He had quite a bit of money on him stored in seals in case of emergency situations. Seeing that Shursui had no way to tell him where the room he booked was, and that he needed one, Naruto decided to rent a room for two in an inn after doing a special henge transformation on both himself and the girl. Otafar equals. Maya's POV, and last time I'm going to mention this point of view. I'm having a really bad day so far. First, I can't find any food since morning, so I'm starving, and then I started to feel disorientated later on, so I fell unconscious. I only now awoke, and I'm thinking, where am I anyways? Was I kidnapped? What's going to happen to me? I thought, thinking of things no 7-year-old should. Otafar equals. Third person. The room was wooden, had 2 beds, a restroom, the essentials. It wasn't too high class, but more than enough for anyone looking for a quiet night's stay. We find Naruto sitting on the bed beside the one on which the girl rested. He had taken the time to wash her and patch up her wounds. Ignoring mental maturity, the two of them were still children, so technically speaking, he did nothing wrong by undressing. It was a necessity, and he didn't even take off her undergarments, so it was the same as a beach trip for kids, just that it was in the bath. He also sent a clone to get some food and drink for her along with a change of clothes, which was quite easy to get using a henge transformation. Sleeping for an hour after Naruto brought her to the inn and patched her up, the girl showed signs of waking up, which he tried to hide, although he noticed but decided to let her be. After all, who wouldn't be surprised, afraid even, at finding themselves in an unfamiliar place? Almost deciding to leave her alone, Naruto felt the need to best her in her own game. Surely this little princess is yet not awake. Thou prince shalt wait outside, said Naruto in a highly exaggerated tone while feigning to leave, attention not leaving the girl. Figuring that the person she was with was not dangerous, Maya felt as if she was challenged if the boy's tone was anything to go by. She, in reply to his jest, tucked herself further in her bed and feigned even deeper sleep. Seeing this, Naruto's face faltered, earning a chuckle from the girl. Seriously, there's no beating you in stubbornness, but that is to be expected by a fellow Uzumaki. Upon this, the girl's eyes widened to the size of dinner plates, and she said in disbelief, did you just say? Finding her reaction normal, he replied, I said that I'm also an Uzumaki Naruto, but then added after some thought, however, I also have Uchiha and Senju blood in me. In a red blur faster than the eye can blink, the girl tackled Naruto in a hug, tears rolling down her face. I have a family. I Uzumaki Maya am not a damn dash, she mumbled but was cut off by Naruto. Never even compare yourself with a demon. If there are any demons in the world, then it's those people. He spat the last part like it was venom. Anyway, Maya-chan, from now on you're going to live with me, and you don't get to say no, he said warmly. Never being referred to in such a tone for as long as she could remember, her heart fluttered, and she was unable to reply, so instead opted in nodding in acceptance. She felt warm and safe in his company. Now let's just forget that sentimental crap and focus on food. Did I mention I brought food for you? I hope you don't mind if I eat some, Naruto jested. As if on cue, Maya's stomach grumbled, causing her to blush. Although she did nod at the now chuckling Naruto's request. After Maya eating a large amount of food in a manner no dignified lady, civilian at least, would eat, though it was understandable due to her living conditions. She asked Naruto about where he was from and why he was in the village. His words, after replying, surprised her to say the least. He was alone in his early years as well, and had it worse on some accounts. That was until he found his foster family. However, she then noticed something which made her turn beet red. Naruto-kun. How? And I wearing different clothes? And why am I so clean beneath him? Questioned an embarrassed Maya, who probably managed to connect the dots. Oh, let's just go meet them now, Maya-chan. I'm sure they're wondering where I've disappeared to set an embarrassed Naruto in a rush. Child, or not, he did undress an unconscious girl. Hi, Naruto-kun, was her simple reply, though she was still obviously embarrassed. Her face had turned a shade of red so dark after Naruto's rushed reply that it would make her fiery hair envious. Flashback end. Odafar equals. Training ground 4, Konoha. Maya was later introduced to Shursui, Mikoto, and Nana. After getting to know them better, she made them the best of friends, especially Nana, but that was to be expected as they lived under the same roof. Yes, Nana had moved in with Naruto since her aunt died 2 months after Maya's arrival. She had been a sobbing mess, and it was nigh impossible for Naruto and Maya to comfort her. The day she lost her last blood-related family was also the day when she got her 2-Tomo Sharingan. The Sharingan is an eye which mirrors emotions, said Shursui, and broke Naruto out of his musings. The stronger the feelings, the more powerful the eye. That's why the standard Konoha requirements of a Sharingan, which I explained the day we began Sharingan training, are not really cared for. Shinobi are those who endure. In their career, they regularly face intense emotions, intense enough to awaken and mature the Sharingan. I wonder, is the Sharingan Copy Wheel Eye, named after its ability to copy ninjutsu, or that it mirrors an Uchiha's emotions to grant them power? Questioned Naruto, still a bit sore about the experience. And who wouldn't be? He had been seeing things which he never wanted to happen in reality. Only knowledge of the fact that it was a Jinjutsu prevented the formation of a Mangekyo Sharingan. In an instant, Naruto drew his katana spontaneously, but was seen blocking Shursui's katana, thus preventing the surprise attack on his back. Your reflexes have gotten quite good, complimented the teacher. And why wouldn't they be? If you keep trying to kill me like that, I'd have to have developed a countermeasure sometime around, joked Naruto. He knew Shursui would never intentionally or needlessly harm him. Chuckling, Shursui vanished. Only a few dancing leaves left behind, showing the use of a shunshin. Unfortunately for Naruto, he couldn't notice fast enough and got trapped in a headlock, courtesy of his teacher. And here I thought you were good. You'd better be careful. You don't have the skill to back up your arrogance. If you die, who'll take care of the 2 maidens in your home? Said Shursui in an overly dramatic voice, earning a chuckle from Naruto. Now, then, Naruto got serious, making Shursui do likewise. I think it's about time you told me more about the Mangekyo Sharingan. Mangekyo, eh? Tell me what you know of it first, requested Shursui. Well, I know only what you told me. The only other time we discussed the eye, retorted Naruto. Well, that is most of what is needed to be known. Other than that, to get over blindness, you will have to implant the Mangekyo of another Uchiha in your eye sockets. This is preferably a relative due to organ rejection, but the only known eternal Mangekyo Sharingan was of Uchiha Madara, and he got his eyes from his little brother, Uchiha Izuna. Madara, huh? Well, he's among the few Uchiha I actually respect, along with you, Mikoto-ka, and Nana, said Naruto. Now this was a surprise for Shursui, who couldn't help but raise an eyebrow and ask, care to tell why? Well, other than the fact that he's my great-grandfather, Naruto thought before answering. History is written by the victor sensei. Uchiha Madara is misunderstood by the world. His intentions were not to wreak havoc or destroy Konoha just because he was rejected the position of Hokage. No, even Hashirama knew that he defected the village because he was rejected by his clan, shunned by his own blood, when he said that the Uchiha would be suppressed by the Senju. He fought Hashirama because he felt that sharing the power of the Biju with other nations would not initiate peace, but would instigate war. The people of this world are corrupt sensei. When given power, they will do all they can to gain more. I believe that Madara wanted peace. After all, he and Hashirama founded the village together. He named this village. So it's easy to conclude that Madara was forced to use his hand when matters got out of hand, in his opinion at least. I can only imagine how he was able to move on and work with the Senju after they killed his precious brother. Shursui was left dumbfounded by the answer of the child before his eye and said, "You are 8, right? Just turned 8 a little while ago." "Why ask?" retorted Naruto. "It's just that no 8-year-old should have such deep insight on such matters. I think even the Sandaime hasn't thought of this possibility." Pain. The pain caused to me by the people of Konoha has given me realization of the world. Had I not had such a life, I would have been ignorant to these humans. He spat the word as if it were venom. Humanity is corrupt, selfish, greedy, prejudicial, and whatnot. The life I have lived has shown me the dark side of the world, though not the darkest, for which I am thankful. I'm sore dash, forgive me. Knowing you, you wouldn't want me to show such pity, and from your words, I feel that you wouldn't have traded your childhood with anyone else's, even if you had the chance to, said Shursui in response. Anyway, I'm off to go to Mikoto Ka's place. If you need me, you know where to look, said Naruto, and left in a shunshin, body flicker, before Shursui had the chance to say anything. That Naruto, same as usual, said Shursui with a sigh. Otafar equals. Hokage office, Konoha. Upon entering the room, one would find the Hokage signing papers and documents, as usual. You'd think that it was torture for him, but the truth couldn't be further from that. Paperwork was like an escape for the aged Sarutobi, alongside smoking. He'd have so many problems to deal with in a day that by doing paperwork, he was calming himself and making clearer decisions simultaneously. Needless to say that Konoha's offices were also less burdening when tended to regularly. However, the old man suddenly stopped writing and turned his head towards the door. "You may enter, Danzo." We could see the crippled old man enter the room. "It's good to see that your senses haven't dulled after all this inactivity, Hiruzen. You don't have to say anything, Danzo. You may as well leave because I won't be handing Naruto over to your root anytime soon," said Hiruzen in a deadpan. Danzo, in reply, said, "But surely, Hiruzen, having the Jinchuriki under emotional control would not only help the village's security because the Kyuubi can be controlled, but also we can have his Sharingan and Mokuton spread across the village. You must be aware of how much loyalty the Jinchuriki for Konoha, none. You know as well as I do that having a Sharingan outside the Uchiha clan would raise mistrust, and don't even get me started on Mokuton. How are you even aware of such details? You should know that I'm privately keeping your root active because it does the dirty deeds for the village, but if I deem that you're using it to transgress your limits, then consider them all executed along with leaving you no means to start a new force. Not that you cares you would be executed without trial for treason. Also, do tell me the reason he holds such mistrust." "I was merely stating, and while my plans may be considering as those which beget suspicious, they are beneficial for Konoha," replied Danzo, "but thought, damn you, Sir Monkey, your softness will lead to Konoha's downfall." "Now, then if there's nothing else, may I continue my work?" asked Hiruzen. "Hiruzen, despite your reply, you obviously know my real reason for coming here. The Uchiha clan. And what of them? From what I know, they're being alleged for the Kyuubi attack due to the Sharingan's powers. I believe that while there are a few signs that they will rebel soon, we should start to peacefully reach a compromise. Even you regard the safety of the village above all else, right? Of course, this is the village Tobarama-sensei wanted us to defend. You cover the light while I the darkness. I also believe that Sensei was correct in his judgment that the Uchiha are unstable and a threat to the village. We should be preparing to restart the bloodline with some extra measures and then exterminate the threat. We will not do that unless absolutely necessary, and I currently think that it is not. The Uchiha have more of a right to this village than any of us. They were the co-founders, after all. Now, if that is all, you may leave." Danzo nodded and turned towards the door, seemingly calm. However, he was all but, "You are a fool, Sarutobi. You trust too much, and that will be Konoha's downfall. I will follow your orders for now. However, I will do what is necessary to defend Konoha if something happens, and you'll be forced by the situation to agree with me." Otafar equals. Uchiha compound, Konoha. This was Naruto's favorite place in the village, the detestable village. The people, though at first under Fugaku's orders, but later on their own, warmed up to him and were the only collective group of Konoha which Naruto could honestly say he liked, regardless of the fact that some other clans which didn't detest him but didn't associate with him in view of their reputation. Although unaware of the fact that he had a Sharingan and was very much one of them, they welcomed his presence with open arms, gradually that is. At first they were ordered by Fugaku to treat him kindly and such, but month by month, this false care turned into genuine friendship. He was given fair prices, and children were encouraged to play with him, in hopes of adopting some of his natural cleverness and to make friends with a student of an esteemed Uchiha. The fact could not be hidden by Shursui and Naruto. The Uchiha clan was feared and isolated in Konoha. According to rumors, they were even blamed for the Kyuubi attack. Naruto, on the other hand, was also unjustly blamed by the population, hence he felt better in the company of people who understood him to some degree. Currently, our hero was thinking of how much Nana and Maya had progressed under Mikoto's tutelage. The reason for Maya being hated was even more outrageous than Naruto's, simply because she was from a dead clan and had a Kekii, Jinkai, mutated from the original. Naruto couldn't even begin to imagine how people saw that as bad, although a few shinobi from Kirigakure, Hidden Mist, had passed through that town in order to spread word about the demons which they had identified. One would think that Kekii Jinkai, bloodline limits, are treasured, thought Naruto as he neared his destination, the house of the Uchiha clan head, or rather its private training ground. The Uchiha always valued power, and since 80% of the clan members were ninja, each house was built with a training ground beside it. Living at the outer edges of the village gave them quite some space. The Uchiha were one of the founders of the village after all, and as such were currently the richest and strongest clan in Konoha, though money was no problem for the Uchiha, even in the era of clan wars. Arriving at the training ground, he absently noted that it was larger than the others and was, excluding the public Uchiha grounds, one of the few which had a lake at its side. The general features were quite simple. A large clearing surrounded by trees, with a considerably sizable lake at the end opposite to the house. There was a wooden track which connected the small bridge which led to a short distance away from the edge of the lake, and the stairs which led to the clan leader's house. It didn't take long for Naruto to find the three females, but suddenly took out his katana, earning questioning stares from the two girls by the lake who noticed him, but noticed then that the third was missing, so they looked behind them for a second. That second was all Mikoto needed to get behind Naruto and attempt to slash him. Clang! Metal hit metal. Nana and Maya turned back to Naruto to see Mikoto at his side, her katana aimed at his abdomen but blocked by his own. "Why is everyone trying to kill me today?" joked Naruto as he sheathed his sword. Now, I already knew that you could block it," replied Mikoto jokingly after she materialized behind the two girls in a flock of crows. "Show off," muttered Naruto under his breath, earning chuckles from everyone. "Anyway, how's training going?" "Want to find out?" taunted Nana and Maya in unison while drawing their tanto. "Let's," replied Naruto, once again unsheathing his katana. Bop bop bop. The 3 8-year-olds held their heads in a way to exaggerate pain and whined. "Ouch! Why'd you do that, Ka-chan?" "You can fight each other later. Dinner comes first. Itachi's coming back, and I also invited Shursui. Sasuke is again gone with his father to an Uchiha hideout, so we have the house to ourselves." "Aye," replied the children in unison. Otafar == Uchiha clan head's mansion, Konoha. Upon entering the house, one could immediately feel the lively atmosphere. There were 6 pairs of shoes placed near the front door, so as to not damage the tatami mats on the floor. Heading further inside the house, 6 people could be seen enjoying dinner. If one didn't know any better, they would think that they were family in blood. However, they were in all but eating slowly, savoring the taste. Naruto was calmly eating in silence as Itachi and Shursui talked while the females chatted with each other. Deciding to at least do something to not be considered antisocial, Naruto rhetorically questioned, "Hey Mikoto-ka, did anyone ever tell you that your cooking is the best?" "My minor-can, you'll make me blush," teased Mikoto. "We all know who's the most mischievous one here, Ka-chan. No need to hide it," retorted Maya. Chuckling, Makoto replied, "Defending our boyfriend, are we?" Maya immediately turned beet red, eliciting amused chuckles from the occupants of the room. Maya, however, was not one to walk away from a challenge unnecessarily, hence asked jokingly in turn, "Trying to steal him from me?" Unfortunately for Maya, Makoto had the perfect comeback. "Why steal? He's already heads over heels in love with me. Isn't that right, Naru-kun?" "I don't know, I'd rather choose Maya and Nana over volatile, quizzical, married women any day. Although if you give me a good enough reason, I might just reconsider," replied Naruto, saying the last part rather coyly. "Oh, Naruto-sama, whatever do you ask of me? You know I am bound to obey what you say," replied Makoto in a demure tone. Naruto, Maya, and Nana blushed immediately to a red, which would make a tomato green with envy, making the adults laugh, the girls' reasons for embarrassment being vastly different than Naruto's. The rest of the meal was eaten with relative silence, as the children couldn't find it in themselves to say much. A surprise noted later on, though not commented on, was that Itachi, stoic and motionless Itachi, laughed his heart out along with the other adults at the children's chagrin. Finishing up on dinner, the children said their goodbyes, having gotten over their embarrassment. "Now, then, kids, remember the rules. No grandchildren for me until you're at least Chunin," said an amused Mikoto. "Ka-chan," shouted three embarrassed 8-year-old in unison. Itachi stayed back inside, and Shursui had already left in a shunshin, body flicker. The leaving children and a waving Mikoto were the only ones on the road at the time. Otafar Naruto's mindscape. After coming home with the girls and getting in bed, Naruto felt that he should give the fox an extra visit. It must be lonely not having anyone to talk to for a week. "Hey there, sunshine," greeted Naruto. "May I ask why you have a death wish?" asked the Kyuubi rhetorically. "Is that any way to treat a person who came solely to give you company?" "Company that wasn't asked for," replied the Kyuubi. "Tell me, Kyuubi, how strong were Hashirama and Madara?" was Naruto's interested query. "Tell me, Naruto, can you break a mountain on a whim?" was the Kyuubi's cryptic response. "You're serious?" questioned Naruto in disbelief, but looking at the fox's blank face was all Naruto needed for confirmation. "Anyway, I'm finally going to enter the Ninja Academy in a few months. Got any advice?" questioned Naruto. You could always kill those incompetent fools, but seeing Naruto unamused, it continued. "You want to team with those girls, and sure, you know the criteria for team formation, so keep an average score. Not too high or low, so you get underestimated later. Besides, you've got that old monkey on your side in ream formations. You're straightforward as always, though I suppose it's better than you threatening to kill me every other minute. See you later, I've got to sleep." "Likewise, although I'd rather be outside of this damned seal," said the Kyuubi as Naruto disappeared from view. Chapter 8. Tests. Uzumaki Estate, Konoha. Entering the large building, one would find the occupants all asleep. The Uchiha, Uzumaki, and the genetic anomaly all occupying different rooms. Yes, no matter how much affection or teasing was shown by these three children, they did not sleep together because of the ample number of rooms, unless, of course, to comfort one another. Although the fact that the three of them being embarrassed, so to speak, due to more mature thoughts which eventually led to rather vivid, intimate imaginations, hence lack of the sleep necessary to withstand their rough training regimes, was the primary reason for this arrangement. Today it was the girls' turn to make breakfast. Naruto had his turn alone, as he could make clones. At least that was the excuse the two females used to hide the fact that, much to their chagrin, Naruto could cook a lot better than them, and they had to work together to match his pace. Figuring that an innovative combination of fried vegetables cooked with some spices and grilled meatballs was a good way to surprise the lone male occupant of the house, as well as make something healthy, the two girls got started and divided the work amongst themselves. The morning went like any other, the three of them sitting on the table, eating while chatting. Finishing said breakfast, the Naruto and Nana and Maya went their separate ways. Otafar Uchiha clan heads, private training ground, Konoha. Maya and Nana came to visit at their usual time at 8 a.m. Looking around, and even using Meia's sensing ability, the Kagura Shingon, mind's eye of the divine entertainment, Mikoto was nowhere to be found. It seems that Sensei has gone with Sasuke to the academy tour after all, Sai, said Nana, a little miffed at the prospect of not having her teacher for a few hours. Mama Nana-chan, she had to go, she also told us. It's not like she can focus solely on us when she has a child of her own. Besides, we already know what the daily drill is before the actual training, so I guess we can give her some time off, suggested Maya, already preparing for her daily morning workout. Nana doing the same a few seconds later. Otafar equals. Training ground for Konoha. It had been 4 hours since Naruto started his morning. He had just finished a few laps around the pond, yet still on the water, and was currently sitting on a tree branch. Good work there, Naruto. Now we can move on to something new I devised for you. Shirsue's voice could be heard below Naruto. The temporary Jounin was sitting on the ground, resting his back against the tree, one leg straight and the other folded so that his knee faced the sky. Shirsue continued, "You see, Naruto, from tomorrow on I have to go back to my duties as an umbu. Watch your back and keep on guard every second because developments which made me go back earlier can cause harm to you as well. Unfortunately, it is classified information which I am not at liberty to disclose. I'm already overstepping my boundaries by giving you a warning. Back to the relevant stuff. Since I'm going to be leaving, I want to take a test of sorts." Test? Questioned Naruto, not prying deeper into other details as they could always be talked over later. Yes, Naruto, a test. I will judge your progress on the ninja arts one final time and will give you a briefing on how to improve in my absence. You've got enough rest now. Let's get started, said Shirsue as he stood up and jumped a large distance away from the tree. Jumping down a short distance from the tree, spinning, Naruto got into his taijutsu stance, the Ukiadru no Ryu, Nama, Dragon Rush, Raw. The style was made so that Naruto could easily alternate between ninjutsu and taijutsu, with ninjutsu being executed as quickly as possible and taijutsu as fiercely, with as much power with speed as possible, as well as add elementally boosted attacks. Naruto lowered his stature and drew his left arm a little to the left in front of him on an equal level as his head, his right arm straightened and tilted slightly behind him, this version in particular focusing more on taijutsu over ninjutsu. Sharingan spinning into action, Naruto was ready to fight. Shirsue in turn entered his own stance. "Make this a bit more enjoyable for me than last year's practice spar," said Shirsue as he leaped forward, using chakra to assist him. "Right, let's get this dance started." Naruto mimicked his teacher's large jump. The two Uchiha had a mid-air fist clash, Sharingan glaring holes into the other. The older easily overpowering the younger and contacting him on the cheek, Naruto was sent flying into a tree which cracked under the force of the impact. "The enemy is always stronger than you. Don't hold back even a little," lectured Shirsue as Naruto got up and moved closer to Shirsue, but was surrounded by a puff of smoke. The smoke cleared the reveal. "Naruto? What did he—" "Oh yes, he can make those," thought Shirsue as he threw a kunai and coated it with fire chakra. The kunai moving at speeds not visible to the untrained eye and Sharingan or not, Naruto could easily dodge it. However, he didn't need to as it was aimed at the ground. Wah! Were Naruto's last thoughts before the kunai exploded in a small swirl of fire the moment touched solid ground, engulfing Naruto in the process. "It seems that I was right," mused Shirsue out loud. "That was a smokeless Kage Bunshin, shadow clone, you made when impacted with the tree, which was replaced using Korami, substitution." However, immediately after saying that, he was forced to dodge 10 kunai coated in wind chakra, which came from 5 different directions behind him. The kunai impaled the ground, but held another surprise for Shirsue. Explosive tags were attached to them. Not the regular ones, mind you know. These were Uzumaki custom tags, which were 3 times more powerful. Leaving unscathed in a timely shunshin, body flicker, Shirsue left a powerful explosion which took place behind his back. Using his tracking experience from the Umbu, Naruto was not a difficult target to find. Following the trail, Shirsue reached another clearing in the large density of trees. Naruto was quite adept in Fuinjutsu, sealing art. In the short time during which Shisui dealt with Naruto's clone and the explosive kunai, Naruto drew a sealing array which was subtly hidden. Shisui noticed but was too late as he stood in the center of it. The array glowed blue, signifying that the seal had activated. I have to commend you, Naruto. Even with clones, it takes a great deal of skill to make a sealing array this large, clones or not. Now, Naruto, tell me what you're going to do now that you've sealed my chakra. Upon finishing, Shisui immediately moved to exit the rather large clearing of which he was in center. You'll find out soon enough, Naruto's voice echoed around Shisui, on at Jinjutsu, masking his original location. Now Naruto could use a Jinjutsu on Shisui to trap him and finish the job, but he wasn't skilled enough to catch a target moving as fast as Shisui, and Shisui was as fast as a Jounin using chakra to move, without chakra mind you. Quickly deciding that using ninjutsu was the best option and that his sensei, with his experience and skill, could live though not necessarily win, Naruto formed a clone and both weaved through hand signs. Katan, Hozenka, Sumabini, Fire Release, Phoenix, Sage, Flower Nail, Crimson. Futon, Shinkaha, Wind Release, Vacuum Wave. Multiple supercharged bursts of fire along with a few sharp slicing hot winds moved toward Shisui. Through his heightened reflexes, was able to dodge the fireballs, but his clothes got charred and had a small cut on his cheek which was bleeding lightly. On the bright side, he managed to get out of the seal and in a show of impressive chakra-boosted speed, punched Naruto in the gut and sent him spiraling into another tree, this time breaking it. Regaining his bearings and getting up on his knees, Naruto noticed that Shisui sent a clone to remove the seal and was preparing a jutsu himself. Katan, Karyuden, Fire Release, Fire Dragon Bullet. Multiple dragon-shaped fireballs moved towards Naruto, who quickly used another jutsu to counter. Suetun, Suijin Hiki, Water Release, Water Formation Wall. Water formed from the atmosphere, and raging waves burst forth in a spiral around Naruto. Upon contact with the fire, the water immediately turned to steam, which spread around the area, blocking vision. Naruto, however, was a sensor, though not on the level of Maya. His Kagura Shingon, Mind's Eye of the Divine Entertainment, was still quite efficient even though he had to focus a bit more to go into detailed sensory. After a little research, the Sandaime concluded that he awakened the ability due to the Kyuubi's chakra, causing changes in his body. Naruto in turn figured that it was awakened when the Kyuubi accelerated the awakening of his Sharingan and Mokuton, something he hadn't really told anyone. Using his sensory ability, Naruto was able to figure Shisui's location, though the inactive Umbu's chakra indicated that he was about to use a jutsu. Since Shisui also had a wind affinity, the expected course of action would be, crap, Naruto thought as he started forming hand seals. Futon, Senpuken, Wind Release, Whirlwind Fist. Katan, Gokaki no Jutsu, Fire Release, Great Fireball Technique. Kakebunsin no Jutsu, Sado Clone Technique. Shisui punched the air and unleashed a powerful gust of wind, which brought with itself sharp wind blades, but his technique was countered by Naruto. However, the sheer force of the wind was enough to blow away the mist, the last technique being silently executed. It seems that you've grown a lot. Congratulations on dragging this on this far. Time to end this, said Shisui as he started weaving through more hand seals. Naruto quickly dashed as fast as he could and managed to get directly in front of Shisui before he could execute the jutsu. I don't like where this is going, thought Shisui as he canceled his jutsu and stopped the flow of fire chakra. Naruto got surrounded in a plume of smoke, started glowing. Bunshin Daibakoha, Clone Great Explosion. Shunshin no Jutsu, Body Flicker Technique. The Naruto in front of Shisui exploded, but Shisui, already having predicted this, moved out of harm's way. Good job, Naruto. If I had continued with my jutsu, you would have gotten me, said Shisui, his sweating due to the heat of the explosion which he avoided by a hair. Not letting Naruto use another seal, Shisui quickly did what he had to. Katan, Karyu no Hoko, Fire Release, Roar of the Fire Dragon. Shisui exhaled a brilliant flame, and turned around in a 360 so as to burn everything around him to cinders and force Naruto to come out in the open. Seeing Shursui use a powerful, all-area jutsu, Naruto was forced to use a chakra-enhanced jump to leap towards the sky in order to avoid the fire, which he barely did. Upon landing, Naruto sent a mock glare at Shursui and said, "Not fair, sensei. You know I can't use jutsu that powerful." "Nothing is fair in life, Naruto. This has gone on for too long. Time to end this," said Shursui as stated at Naruto's eyes, putting him in a powerful jinjutsu. Naruto, noticing this, quickly dispelled it only to find himself bound by ropes, unable to firm hand seals. Double-layered, damn, thought the 8-year-old. It's difficult to pull off, but I have to mold chakra without hand seals. Hyper-focusing on the task at hand, Naruto managed to dispel the illusion just in time to get away from Shursui, who was about to knock him unconscious. Forming hand signs, he prepared an attack. Mokuton, Makuzo Yari Damaku, would release, would spear barrage. Spears if would rose from the ground and flew at Shursui, forcing him to jump back, giving Naruto time to use more jutsu. Forming a clone, he prepared more jutsu. Suetun, Okinanami, water release, great waves. Right-un, Rakurai, lighting release, thunderbolt. A large amount of water, with electricity coursing through it, rushed towards Shursui at high speeds. However, while Naruto was preparing his jutsu, Shursui was not sitting idle. Futon, Renkuden, wind release, drilling air bullets. Katon, Goryuka no Jutsu, fire release, great dragon fire technique. While at an elemental disadvantage by itself, the collaboration used by Shursui was powerful enough to cancel out Naruto's collaboration, forming another cloud of steam, some sparks visible every now and then. Doton, Shinju Zanshu no Jutsu, earth release, double suicide decapitation technique. Naruto appeared from below Shursui, but was unable to trap him as he jumped into the air. The airborne Shursui went through some hand signs. Futon, Shinkaha, wind release, vacuum wave. Unleashing another gust of slicing winds, Shursui cleared the area of the steam. Landing on the ground, Shursui saw Naruto coming up from the ground. Eyebrows twitching in annoyance at how long the battle had dragged on, Shursui vanished in a blur of pure speed and appeared behind Naruto. He hit the boy on a pressure point in his neck, knocking him out. Sighing, Shursui picked up the unconscious boy and moved to take him home. Yes, Naruto had figured out how to enter another person's chakra signature on the barrier. The barrier itself was on a Fuinjutsu master's level. However, adding who can enter and such, while difficult in its own right, was not as vexing as making it. Once Naruto found the main seal, which took chakra from nature to power the barrier, he used all his knowledge on the seal and realized that he had to take some raw chakra from the person seeking entry and add an array to the master seal, with which it will be connected to it, hence allowing the owner of the chakra to pass through. Odafar Uzumaki Estate, Konoha. It has been 2 hours since Shursui brought Naruto home. Naruto finally started to wake up. Looking around, he saw his sensei sitting on a comfortable seat beside the couch he was lying on. "You won, huh? You have to admit I was good back there," said Naruto in a partially excited tone. "Yes, Naruto, you've come far. You now use your mind more, and you have a decent grasp on all the ninja arts. You know, that seal back there really surprised me," complimented Shursui. "I think that you should be able to beat a high-level Chunin, maybe even a low-level Jounin, if you get lucky." "No, I can't leave things to luck. I want to get stronger," replied Naruto. "So, Shursui, I guess you'll have to go now." "Don't worry, Naruto. I'll come visit when I can. Also, I said that I would give you tips, so I guess the best you can do is just practice what you know and learn more," said Shursui. "Thanks. You go on now. I'll go check on the girls," replied Naruto as he got up and prepared to leave. Until next time, Shursui jumped out a window he purposefully left open and vanished in a shunshin, body flicker. Naruto doing the same, seeing no problem in it. Odafar Uchiha clan head's private training ground, Konoha. Upon reaching the ground, Naruto was presented with the following scene. Katan, Gokaku no Jutsu, fire release, great fireball technique. Suetun, Oki Minace, water release, great water torrent. The two jutsu collided to form a large cloud of steam. The users of the jutsu dashed towards each other at chakra-boosted speeds and punched each other on the side of their faces, sending them flying in opposite directions. Naruto immediately formed two Kage Bunshin, shadow clones, which caught the two girls and used basic wind manipulation to clear the training ground of the vapor. Now, girls, I don't want you hurting each other too badly, chided Naruto, looking at the girls' attire. Nana's clothes had small cuts and tears, while Meia's clothes were charred around the edges. Says the guy in worse condition than us, retorted Nana, who along with Meia noticed Naruto's state of dress. A half-torn mesh shirt, exposing some of his torso around his left arm, and charred black pants which seemed to have rough edges, as if they were hit with electricity. Naruto had the decency to look sheepish. At least I'm still not wet, unlike you two. Anyway, what's up with you trying to beat each other into the ground? We were just sparring, said the two innocently in unison. It was at that moment when a certain Uchiha matriarch decided to set foot on the ground. What the heck did you guys do to this place? Exclaimed Mikoto, looking at the torn-up ground and burned trees. Just a little friendly spar, said Meia and Nana in unison. I just came at the end of it, Naruto added. What have I told you about sparring without my knowing? Questioned Mikoto. To not do it, the girls said once again in unison. What am I going to do with you two? Said Mikoto, sighing. Don't worry, Miko-ka. This is nothing compared to what Shirsu-sensei and I did, added Naruto. Interrupting Mikoto from continuing any further, Sasuke moved into the ground and, ignoring all the damage done, said excitedly, Hey there, Naruto, Nana, Meia. Long time no see, huh? It's been a while, yes, replied the genetic anomaly. So, Naruto, have you gotten stronger? I know I have. Tusan taught me a cool new fire jutsu. Sasuke said excitedly. Well then, let's go to the lake and see it, shall we? Suggested Naruto. Moving to one end of the lake, Sasuke slowly went through hand seals. Katan, Gokaku no Jutsu, fire release, great fireball technique. A decent-sized fireball was exhaled by Sasuke, which covered a quarter of the lake. Interesting, he's not receiving special training, and yet he's this good. Let's give him an incentive to improve, thought Naruto. How's that? Exclaimed Sasuke, looking back at Naruto. Allow me to show you how it's done, said Naruto coolly. He intentionally worked way slower than normal and did hand seals thrice as fast as Sasuke. Katan, Gokaku no Jutsu, fire release, grand fireball technique. A large fireball was exhaled by Naruto in a brilliant flame, covering half the lake. Weaker than what I'm used to, but perfect for giving him a target to work for that is just out of his current reach, thought Naruto as he grunted in acknowledgement. Whoa, how'd you do that? Asked the surprised Sasuke. Dedicated hard work, was Naruto's simple reply as he moved back towards Mikoto and the crew. Whoa, that was awesome. I've got to get Nisan to train me, Sasuke said to himself as he ran to find his elder brother. Seeing Sasuke leave, Naruto decided to go do his own Fuinjutsu, sealing art, training, and invited the girls. Sorry, Nurkin, Kachan here was busy today, so we need to cover up, said Meia, giving Mikoto a half-hearted glare. I see. Well, don't be out late. It's already 6 p.m. Naruto then proceeded to leave in a swirl of leaves. Otafar equals. Hokage office, Konoha. Forgive me, Shursui, but the Uchiha are slowly getting more and more aggressive. We might soon have a civil war at our hands, and it is getting more likely that young Itachi will be exposed. If things do not settle soon, drastic action will need to be taken. Of course, this was the Sandaime Hokage of Konoha speaking. Unfortunately, it seems that the clan will most likely be set out on being purged, Shursui sighed as he said this. I really wish that wasn't so. I will try my best to handle this diplomatically, but the village is under me, and I consider every one of the villagers my family. It would be a hard choice to make if wiping out the Uchiha gets necessary, sighed the Hokage, who thought, all this sighing makes me feel even older than I actually am, and that's a lot all things considered. We can only hope for the best. I hope I can get back to teaching Naruto some other time. It's quite enjoyable, to be honest. Only time can tell, my boy. Otafar == Unknown location. Looking around, one could easily describe the place in one word: rocky. The place was seemingly a room in a mountain which had broken pieces of rock on the ground near the entrance. The cave was dimly lit and had a sizable throne in it. It seems that Nagato has finally summoned the Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path. Zetsu, bring me the potion you prepared, quickly said the voice of a weak old man, the affects of time as visible as day on his features, although one feature stood out, one visible Sharingan in the right eye. From the ground rose a half-black, half-white plant-like humanoid figure which handed the old man a vial. Here you go, Musama, said the white half. The timing couldn't have been better, could it? The black half questioned rhetorically. Drinking all of the foul liquid, Madara felt like throwing up. Zetsu had indeed mixed up the vilest and unthinkable materials to make this elixir, so much so that even he, a war veteran, felt like vomiting. Of course, my grandson is about to go through an important time after all, replied Madara, who was the Ahin? From the 100-year-old fossil, he reverted back into a 12-year-old child. HM? This is the age at which I first met Hashirama. The potion, as you can see, will cause you to turn to a child at first. Then through 1 year, you will grow, age a year a month. After that, you will age twice as fast as normal people for 2 years. Finally, in the 4th year, you will age quickly and will die in 8 to 12 months. Black Zetsu spoke. Say what you will, when Black and White Zetsu worked together, they were quite smart. White Zetsu just wanted to be more lighthearted. I see. That should be enough time to do what I have to. It was an odd scene to hear those words come from a child. And that's it for now. Oh, and I'll upload pictures of the currently 2 planned versions of the Ukiadru no Ryu later when I find the time. Like it? Love it? Hate it? Do tell in a review. Jutsu list. Futon, Senpuken, Wind Release, Whirlwind Fist B/A rank, Offensive/supplementary. The user coats wind chakra in their fist and punches either the air for a powerful gust of wind with wind blades spreading around the affected area, or the foe to inflict massive damage and possibly killing them. The power of the wind blades and intensity of the gust increase with the chakra input. Katon, Karyu no Hoko, Fire Release, Roar of the Fire Dragon AS rank, depending on chakra input offensive. The user first inhales, gathering fire in their mouth, and then releases such fire in the direction of their opponent, creating a large, exploding fireball which damages and burns the opponent. It can also be guided by the direction the user faces to incinerate things in an area-wide effect. This jutsu can be performed 2 ways. The first, and more complicated, way involves the user putting their hands before their mouth, in a pose resembling that of a trumpeter, before releasing the fire, prompting it to be expelled between their fingers. The flames produced by this version start out as a very thin stream, enough to be fit between the user's fingers, before suddenly enlarging to strike the opponent. The other simpler and seemingly faster way simply has the user quickly gathers flames in their mouth and then releases them, with no seeming stance required, producing a much larger burst of fire. Chapter 9. Academy Days begin. Root Headquarters, Konoha. The Byakugan. One Shimura Danzo had no major use of it. Seeing the Tenketsu is an ability useful only to medics and to the youth, who develop their arsenal around it. Unlike me. However, getting Hyuga soldiers is extremely useful. Danzo then looked at the eyeless corpse before him. Take it away to be disposed, ordered the War Hawk, and his soldiers did as told. I see only one use of the Uchiha, a fresh supply of Sharingan. Danzo tapped the bandages over his right eye as he thought that. Danzo had always been an extremist, at least from when he first tasted war. Power. Power was the only thing which gave results in the world. No one listened to the weak, the strong got everything. And I intend to make Konoha strong, starting from its roots, said the crippled old man with conviction. Odafar equals. Uzumaki Estate, Konoha. Naruto was absolutely sure, no doubt, no mistake. He was being watched whenever possible, when he was out training or when he went to the Ichirakus. Everywhere short of his home, he sensed shady people, or rather their chakra, with the Kagura Shurgan, mind's eye of divine enlightenment, following him, observing him under orders. It can't be Gigi. He already knows everything spying could tell him. Who is this mysterious group following me? Is it possible that... No, but yes, it is entirely possible for this to be the reason Shinai was worried about me. Naruto had always been perceptive. However, this time, he could only wait to find out more. Standing up, Naruto decided to take a shower and get a change of attire. It was 8 in the morning. Nana and Maya had already left for training, leaving Naruto to his own devices. Getting ready, Naruto headed for the kitchen in a black yukata with blood-red trims. Looking at the table, Naruto saw that a breakfast of oatmeal and fruit salad had been prepared. Those two, they probably want their favorites cooked by me at dinner, thought Naruto with a small smile. Taking a seat and finishing breakfast, Naruto had thought up of his new routine. He woke up at 8 a.m., got ready for the day by 9, began his daily training exercises in the Uzumaki training ground, took a break during which he practiced Fuinjutsu, sealing art, for 2 to 3 hours, had lunch, practiced ninjutsu, and refined what he learned and got finished by 5 to 6 in the evening. During this time, he sent about 300 Kage shadow clones, for reading in the Uzumaki library and learning and practicing new ninjutsu. He kept the number low even when having a much greater mental resistance, because he used around 100 for Fuinjutsu, sealing art, and he didn't want to be forced to stop using clones as once before. I suppose I'll visit Mikoka today after training, Naruto mused to himself. Odafar equals. Uchiha clan compound, Konoha. The girls, Nana and Maya, had finished preparing for the day while Naruto was in the shower and had left to train. Looking around, they saw suspicious looks, but they thought nothing of it, calling it a clan thing. Reaching their training ground, they saw Makoto sitting on the edge of the small bridge, looking into the distance. Their inner prankster awake, the two swiftly moved behind Makoto and promptly pushed her into the water. Makoto, however, was not one to lose easily, and quickly pulled the two into the water with herself. Cold, 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 Nana repeated as she quickly jumped out and was shivering. Era. It seems that your trick backfired, Nana-chan. The Uchiha patriarch teased. It's not funny, yelled Nana, her eyes squinted and arms moving on defiance, anime-style complaining. Back to serious matters, she said as Nana and a giggling Maya straightened themselves. You see, earlier today, Fugaku arranged a clan meeting which resulted in a decision to not let non-Uchiha on the clan grounds unless the entry concerns important matters, starting tomorrow onwards. But what about my training? Questioned Maya, inwardly complaining at not being able to meet with her mother figure on a regular basis. Now Maya-chan, I think we both know that you're about ready to begin training in Uzumaki methods. I think it would be best if you started to train with Naruto at home after all. He must be getting bored all alone. Makoto explained. I see, Maya said in an understanding tone. Just promise that you'll come visit us often. Of course, I can't leave this little princess all alone with that so cruel, savage beast now. Can I? Joked Makoto at the absent Naruto's expense. So can we at least have one last day of training? Questioned Maya, already knowing the answer. Odafar equals. Hokage office, Konoha. The situation is getting worse. Now, there is major distrust between the Uchiha and the rest of the village. Hiruzen sighed. Even with all these headaches, the Hokage loved his job and his village. However, it was getting difficult to find satisfaction as time passed. So many problems just kept on coming. He had thought that he would be free once retired, but then the Kyuubi attack happened, and he was reinstated. And things only went south afterwards. First, he had to put down Danzo and his claim to the Hokage seat and his best for Konoha concept. Then the people of the village slowly believed the Uchiha to be the ones who orchestrated the Kyuubi attack. thus causing poor relations. Then Naruto starts getting beatings on his birthday, which he mostly managed to stop in time through the Umbu. The one time he was a little slow, Naruto killed the mob and awakened two legendary bloodlines, one formerly extinct. Then he had to put down Danzo's renewed efforts for making Naruto a weapon once he got aware of his gifts through Root, which he kept around in secret to do Konoha's dirty work. The situation then continued to worsen, and now the Uchiha had closed themselves off from village. Just another excuse for Danzo to push towards killing them. Yes, the job of a Hokage was not what one would work for if he wanted a simple but thrilling life. No, the Hokage was one who had to balance the light and dark of the village. They had to be prepared to send hundreds of shinobi to their death and tell their families once they died. The Hokage had to be prepared to sacrifice his life for the village and had to make all the hard choices, like Minato did, thought the old man. Hiruzen sighed. Otafar Uzumaki Estate, Konoha. Naruto had finished training an hour ago. Of course, he wore his mesh shirt and black pants for that, and was wearing the same yukata. He had taken a bath, after which he sent clones to find Shursui, Itachi, and Mikoto and invite them over for dinner. Nana and Maya had come back half an hour ago and were told to go prepare for dinner. Naruto himself and his clones cooking dinner and setting up the house. He had formed a temporary seal for Itachi to use until Naruto got his chakra integrated into the system. After about 1 hour, at 8 p.m., Naruto went to answer the door upon hearing the knocking. With a slight bow he greeted, "Good evening, Miss Mikoto, Sir Itachi, and Mr. Shursui." The three in question, being too surprised at this behavior to speak, just nodded. It was also their first time seeing Naruto in a yukata. Ushering his guest to the table, they sat down. As if on cue, Nana and Maya came with the dishes and spoke in perfect unison after a small bow. "Greetings, Mikoto-sama, Itachi-sama, Shursui." Mikoto, being the first to get over her shock, said, "What the heck happened to you guys?" "Oi, we're just being polite here," exclaimed Nana, before Maya promptly put a hand on her mouth. "Sorry, Naruto-kun, it seems someone forgot the plan." Maya sent a mock glare at Nana. As she said this, said girl grinning sheepishly, "It matters not. Before we begin, I would like to tell you all something I feel I should have told you long ago. Mikoto-kan knows part of it, and I want this to remain secret from the Hokage until I deem it necessary. Can you do this for me?" Getting nods of affirmation in return, he continued, "I am the great-grandson of Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama." The reaction was immediate. Shock, rather surprise, covered the features of those present except Mikoto. "The Hokage probably knows of this. May I ask how you found out?" Itachi questioned, being the quickest to get over his surprise. "Yes, last time you said that it was a secret," was Mikoto's reply. "You must keep calm after I say this. I got the knowledge from the Kyuubi. Uchiha Naruto was never one to beat around the bush unless necessary." Mikoto, who was drinking water, immediately spat it in a burst. Itachi, Nana, and Maya widened their eyes greatly, and, "Are you fucking out of your mind?" was Shursui's response, which earned him a hit to the head by Mikoto. "Language, young man, there are children here." It was quite a comical scene. Shursui cowering under Mikoto's gaze while the children, who would use the language themselves given the occasion, were snickering. Itachi was the one who remained most calm, and said, "I assume you have a reason to trust the Kyuubi and have some sort of agreement." As always, Itachi was perceptive. "Yes, it finds me interesting, and the only person in a long while who shares traits with its father, the Rikudo Sennin, sage of the Six Paths." The mention of the sage was a shocker for all the guests. "We have a deal that I will one day find a way to let it out without dying while in the meanwhile. It doesn't try to escape and helps me by giving guidance on occasion. And heal all those damned injuries you have after training," the fox shouted in his mind, which made Naruto say, "And yes, heal all my damn injuries." "You don't play with fire, Naruto. The Kyuubi is a being of hatred that kills on whim. It's also responsible for the attack on Konoha 8 years ago and your parents' deaths." All that Mikoto said had been true to a degree. "I'm sorry, Kaa-chan, but you're wrong this time. Tell me, How would you feel if you were trapped against your will in the body of a being you could kill with a sneeze for around a century? While it may be true that the QB dealt the killing blow, Tu-chan and Ka-chan were already half dead when they were preparing the seating. Another thing is that the attack was orchestrated by a masked Uchiha, claiming to be Mura. Itachi's eyes widened a bit at this, which Naruto noticed, and that the QB was forced to attack. Now don't ask me for more details, as mysteriously, the QB's memories of the event are foggy. I'm sorry, Naruto-kun, but I was raised with the view I shared with you, so do expect me to be a little bit uncooperative until I absorb this information. Mikoto apologized indirectly to the QB. So that explains Naruto-kun's Sharingan. Anyway, let's eat. I had Naruto-kun make my favorite tonkatsu, and I won't let it get cold. Maya childishly pouted as she said that. Chuckling at the girl's antics, everyone started to eat. During dinner, among the little chit-chat, the fact that the Uchiha had isolated themselves in Maya's training with Naruto caused another thought to go through Naruto's mind. Very suspicious. First, I notice that I'm being spied on. Next, Sensei warns me to watch my back. And finally, the Uchiha decide to isolate themselves. Fugaku was already suspicious in trying to make me the Uchiha's weapon and not Konoha's weapon, unlike this Danzo Tu-chan spoke of. Also, the villagers seem to be getting increasingly distant from the Uchiha. What exactly is going on? I know that somehow the Uchiha are involved. If only I had a bit more knowledge. Little did young Naruto know that he already had all the pieces to the puzzle. He just wasn't using all of them and not the right way. Is something wrong, Naruto-kun? Asked Itachi, seeing Naruto lost in thought for a second. No, it's nothing important, replied Naruto. Maybe you're just thinking about me. How to take me as your own. Naruto-sama, said Mikoto demurely, her eyes pointing toward a certain Uchiha for just a moment. Oh, I wouldn't know about that, Mikoto-chan, was Naruto's coy reply, seeing Mikoto's subtle sign of their target. Naruto-kun, it would be in your best in tier dash, Itachi began in a slightly dark tone, but was interrupted by none other than his mother. Oh, Itachi-chan, I knew you loved me. But alas, we are mother and son, so we can't be together unless you plan to elope with me. These were the words of the only Uchiha known in the cosmos who could tease her son maturely. Upon hearing that Itachi was reminded of the reason he had long since stopped interrupting her teasing, he didn't even know how he got goaded just now. She was the only person who could turn him beet red. Yes, turn frigging Uchiha Itachi a shade so crimson that a fresh, red tomato would look like a cheap ripoff. Looking at the rare sight, everyone in the room burst out into chuckling fits until they started coughing. Whoa, who knew Itachi and I could be like this, was the only comment made by a still giggling Uzumaki Maya. I know, right? It's like seeing something out of a dream, Uchiha Nana added her 2 cents. The rest of dinner was eaten relatively normally. Itachi finished first and left for the roof, followed by Naruto, who noted that it would take a while for the others to finish. Otafar equals. With Itachi and Naruto. It's beautiful, right? The moon shining between the clouds, dimly lighting the night sky, said Naruto as he approached the Uchiha prodigy. Yes, it is, Itachi said in response. I noticed something in the talk earlier that's been bothering me. Also, there's another thing which has been driving me mad for a year or so, Naruto said honestly. This had better not be about Ka-san teasing me, and you honestly falling for her, teased Itachi. While she is attractive, the matter is much more serious. Naruto adopted a serious expression as he said that. You see, earlier in dinner when I mentioned the masked Uchiha parading around as Madara, you showed a reaction. What do you know about it? Don't worry, I won't tell the Hokage, which is what I've already asked of you. You're quite perceptive, Naruto-kun. From where this is going, I think it would be best to tell you everything once you've given me the next question as well, Itachi replied. You see, lately I've noticed that the village and the Uchiha have been getting rather distant. The Uchiha seclusion isn't doing much to quell my beliefs. It's almost as if a war is about to take place. Naruto let the confusion show on his face. Itachi's eyes widened to the size of dinner plates. I've no idea what to say to that. The best way to start is to say that you are correct. Naruto's eyes widened. First, I'll explain the village's situation as technically speaking, you are involved as well. You see, the thing is that the Uchiha clan has been targeted by the village as the perpetrators of the QB attack. This belief was initially held only by the top authority, but now quite a bit of Konoha's population share it. This is so because those who enforce the law, the Uchiha police force, are generally disliked by many people, hence biased allegations. The Uchiha, on the other hand, grew tired of all this, and step by step, they're getting distant from the village and are now expected to start a coup d'etat against the village. With the situation worsening, Umbu are getting more active, and termination seems to be the best course of action. Of course, the Hokage is conducting talks, but they seem to be failing. I see. I understand the need of secrecy. To be honest, this is just a bit too much for me to grasp. However, I'll ask, how is this related to the masked man? Naruto questioned. Apparently, this man also holds a dislike for the clan. How do I know this? To be honest, he came to me and discussed things I'm not ready to disclose at the moment. Forgive me, but I don't think it would be wise to let you know more than what you already know. I know you would have figured this out yourself, but understand that I'm not ready to share what that man has to do with all this. Itachi was a bit uncomfortable with even telling the boy what he had. He felt like he rushed the details to him, thinking that Naruto wouldn't have any issues in taking the knowledge. I understand. Don't worry, I'll keep this to myself, Naruto assured, though it wasn't needed. I've got a lot more to think about. This is slowly getting tiresome and annoying. I see. I have to go now. Until next time. With that, Itachi left in a shunshin body flicker. Naruto went back inside and found that everyone had finished eating and were chatting. Makoto noticed Naruto's return and questioned, "Where have you been?" "Around," he said coolly, but one look from Makoto, and he corrected, "On the roof with Itachi and I. He left, by the way." Naruto then took a seat, and the group talked about the academy, future arrangements, and the like. Of course, they teased each other on occasion. At around 10 p.m., the guests left, and about half an hour later, the residents of the home went to sleep. Otafar ============================================================================================================================================================================================================================================================================================================================================================================had woken up rather slowly that day, though the fact that Naruto explained to them his plan to get into the same team was a factor as well. It was either Naruto and one of the girls get highest grade and the third gets dead last, or they all get an average on between score. The latter, of course, was decided to be undertaken. They were currently walking towards the building, 10 minutes left until the actual academic session starts, when they saw Sarutobi Hiruzen standing near the door, gesturing them to move to his side. "Good morning, Naruto-kun," Nana-kun, and Maya-kun greeted the Hokage. "Ohio, Gigi," greeted the three, Maya and Nana having developed familiarity with the Hokage. "As you know, Naruto's training, and by extension yours as well," Hiruzen pointed toward the girls, "will have to be kept secret. This is to keep Naruto's bloodlines a secret, to keep the three of you safe, as you know. Therefore, what I wanted to say is that I want you to give an average performance in the academy. This is to both keep your training private and to make you 3 and up on the same team. Don't worry, you can show off at the final exam. We kind of figured as much. Just make sure that we end up on the same team," Naruto requested, receiving a nod in return. "Well then, that is all. Good luck in the academy. I can't exactly change the curriculum too much as the other children are untrained and have little knowledge of the village. Although I did manage to get the academic content halved and the physical content doubled. I should have done this years ago. Cammy, now I'll have more paperwork now when the civilian council finds out that I increased the academy's passing criteria. As much of an escape paperwork provided him. Needless paperwork was always avoided." Chuckling at the Hokage's misfortune, the children went ahead to their classroom. "You three must be Uzumaki Naruto, Uzumaki Maya, and Uchiha Nana. You're the last ones to come and barely made it on the last second. Don't make the same mistake again. Yumino Iruka disliked the QB, yes, but Naruto, no. He just wanted to take a professional approach to him. He would be fair to him and care about him as much as the other students. After all, he shared some childhood experiences with him, being a lonely orphan and all." Wordlessly nodding, the three moved towards the back of the class and saw 3 empty seats near the corner. Naruto sat near the window, Maya in the center, and Nana to her right. Seeing that everyone was present, Iruka began, "Good morning, class. Today we begin our journey together, which will result in many of you becoming splendid shinobi for the village. Let's start with introductions. I'll be first so you know what to say. My name is Yumino Irika. I like teaching and spending time with my friends. My hobbies are reading and eating dango. I dislike the prejudicial, traitors, and those who force their will on others. And my dream is to see all my students become wonderful roots to the tree that is Konoha. I like him. He's not lying, and he didn't use my lateness as an excuse to belittle me, Naruto thought, until he heard Irika motion him to begin introductions. My name is Uzumaki Naruto. I like spending time with my family and training. My hobbies are... He paused and thought, I can't say intermediate fuinjutsu, sealing art, reading and exercising. My dislikes are prejudicial people, those who force their will on others, and those who threaten my precious people. And my dream is to... Well, for now, I don't have much of a dream other than to protect my precious people. The last part was the truth. In fact, Naruto had lied about nothing. Nodding, Maya understood that it was her turn. My name is Uzumaki Maya. I like my family. My hobbies are eating and walking. I dislike prejudicial people, people who force their will on others, and those who threaten my family. And my dream is to be a strong person to protect my precious people. Nana was next. My name is Uchiha Nana. I like to enjoy with my family. My hobbies are sleeping and walking. I dislike prejudicial people, those who force themselves on others, and those who try to hurt my family. And my dream is to be strong enough to beat away all threats to those precious to me. At this point, everyone who paid attention was aware that by family the three were referring to each other and some people they knew. The rest of the introductions were pretty normal, people liking their families and friends, hobbies being gardening, walking, cloud watching in a certain Nara's case, disliking something like waiting or those who harm people close to them, and a dream like becoming Hokage or strongest in their clan. Now those are all admirable goals you all have, but for now you need to start with your books, and remember a strategy from this book might just save your life in the future. Irika began to write on the board and started the lecture. This won't be too bad, Naruto thought looking outside the window. Not paying attention to the lecture as he already read the book a few times, this quietness is a bit calming. The same could not be said for the girls beside him who did not want to sit in the same place and learn what they already knew. Naruto noticed this and, much to their ire, smiled at them. Needless to say that these 4 years wouldn't he too eventful, or would they? Chapter 10. And so it begins. 1 year after Academy year started. Uchiha clan compound, Konoha. Greetings, Itachi, a voice said from the darkness in an alley. Likewise, Madara, I presume you want my answer. Itachi replied. Yes, we've delayed it for a year now, was the Madara's reply. I need a little more time to see how things play out, Itachi requested. Very well, you have 2 months. Remember, time is of the essence, the darkness replied ominously, an eye opened to reveal a lone Sharingan shining in the dark. At that moment, a swirl surrounded the eye, and all traces of the man's presence vanished. He will be a difficult opponent if we happen to cross paths. Itachi closed his eyes for a moment, opening them to reveal his Mangekyo Sharingan before deactivating at the next moment. Stepping into the dark alley, Itachi broke down into a flock of crows and left the area. Otafar equals. With Naruto, Maya, and Nana. It was around midday, and Academy hours had finished minutes ago. Speaking of the Academy, it was a welcome experience with some nuisances here and there. The 3 residents of the Uzumaki estate had interacted the most with the clan heirs in the class. They knew of Sasuke, a boy who liked to train and get closer to his brother and idol, Uchiha Itachi. He liked his family and sweets. However, a problem for him, which Naruto was fortunate enough not to share, was fangirls. The bane of all existence, Sasuke was constantly pestered by them, so much so that he was forced to hide in the bathroom for entire 1-hour-long half-day breaks. In fact, Sasuke's annoyance was reason enough for Kiba, heir to the Inuzuka clan due to his sister's decline, to malign him as gay. Inuzuka Kiba, a loud and brash boy with a superiority complex, so much so that he always tried to prove that he was the alpha, though he always failed badly. Once, Kiba had the gall to hit on Nana and Maya. Needless to say that Naruto's wrath was one thing Kiba feared that day. In contrast, there was Hyuga Hinata, heir to the Hyuga clan, though the status was in doubt due to her lack of confidence. She was everything Kiba was not: shy, timid, kind, and unfortunately for Naruto, a stalker. Yes, Naruto was somewhat annoyed of her following him, though his ire paled in comparison to his two female companions. The first few days, it seemed like coincidence that they were in the same area, but later on Naruto was slowly reaching the limits of his patience, so much so that he had to actually use his mind tactfully. Wanted to hide his capabilities by not using the Shunshin, body flicker, get out of her Byakugan's range, which he had estimated. Another problem I have to deal with, he thought. Then there was a person Naruto actually liked to be around a bit. Aburame Shino, heir to his respective clan. He was quiet and usually did not talk more than necessary, although he was fond of explaining and describing everything, a quirk Naruto could live with. Unfortunately, his silence left him with very little friends, Naruto, Nana, Maya, and Sasuke being the only main ones. Then came Yamanaka Ino and Haruno Sakura, heir to her clan and daughter of a civilian council member respectively. These two were similar in every way excluding the fact that they were on each other's throats on matters involving their precious Sasuke. They were both annoying if you asked Naruto. They only focused on dieting and appearances, neglecting their shinobi training. Other than book smarts, the only leverage Ino had over Sakura was that she was a clan heir and had naturally superior reserves than other academy students, and her clan jutsu. On to two more of Naruto, Sasuke and the girl's friends, Akimichi Choji and Nara Shikamaru, heir to their respective clans. Choji had a naturally larger physique due to his clan's blood, a sensitive point for him, and Shikamaru was a genius, highly intelligent, and even surpassing some of the adult Nara. Choji was a kind person who was friendly with everyone who was his friend, although he didn't take kindly to a comment on his weight. Shikamaru was lazy, a pure slacker who'd rather watch clouds and sleep than go for a bath in the morning. Finally, there was Kurama Yakumo, technically head of her clan due to her parents' death, but not in a leading role due to being underage and lacking leading experience. She was a special case which had a frail body, though slowly practicing and exercising she was getting over it. Though her will to be alone was as hard as rock, her demeanor cold and indifferent. She did not want friends, she merely required associates, as she put it. Anyway, the reason Naruto was spared from fangirls was the fact that parents had told their children not to associate with him, though his looks made it hard not to. The main reason was that one day Nana just happened to be a little loud about the fact that Maya hit her in when they sleeping. While she was on Naruto's other side, mind you, which did not escape the class, which turned beet red at the seemingly intimate relationship. According to what a child knew, the three had hints everyone knew not to meddle with their bond, especially when Naruto made it clear by ushering his wrath upon Kiba, although a certain Hyuga heiress was still not persuaded to stop chasing after the blonde. Enough about the others, they could all be discussed in detail some other day. Currently, our favorite blonde and his female companions were coming back home from another day at the academy. Nothing special happened. They were walking in complete silence, enjoying each other's company, and for once, not teasing each other into submission. Some changes were an obvious increase in height in the now 9-year-olds. Nana and Maya's hair having grown, and Naruto's budding side bangs growing until they were on level with his nose, his spiky hair growing a little longer, or would it be taller? The year had been spent with academy time in the mornings, Naruto and Maya training at the Uzumaki estate, and Nana training with Makoto. They spent a bit more time with Sasuke, and everything else was fairly normal. They were currently heading home, expecting their mother figure to be waiting for them as promised, Sasuke going to train with his father. Honestly, Kaa-chan can go overboard with her teasing, said Naruto, remembering Makoto's stunt with Itachi around a year ago. This obviously elicited giggles from the girls, who then noticed that Naruto had moved a considerable distance ahead of them and quickly ran towards him. Luckily, there was no Hinata today. Otafar Uchiha clan compound, a shrine near main Konoha. My progress with the Karasa Kaitai no Jutsu, crow dismantling jutsu, has been quite good. Soon I'll be able to use it in battle like Okasan. Itachi had come to investigate some natural herbs on an indoor C-rank mission to get some quick money. Having finished his task, he was about to leave when he sensed a presence. "Good day, Danzo-sama. May I ask why you are here?" "You know as well as I do, Itachi, why I'm here. You are aware of the tensions between the Uchiha and the village. No? In fact, you were the one who gave us knowledge of the coup they have planned. I commend you for that. You should also know that Hiruzen will not hesitate to eliminate the clan should they get out of hand. And when that happens, your precious brother will also be killed." Danzo said. "What are you implying?" Itachi replied, his tone getting an edge to it. "Oh no, no need to be so hostile. I am merely pointing out a what-if scenario which can be avoided, if you do as I say." Danzo waved off Itachi's threat. "And pray tell me what that might be." Itachi was seriously getting a bit annoyed. "The next time you hand us your report, I will suggest that you should kill the clan while saving two, namely your brother and the Jinchuriki's associate. Do not ask how I know that. You should do as I say. I'll do my best to cover your trails and give you a way out of the village, and so will Hiruzen when he accepts." "You're serious?" "I need to think about it." "Very well. You have until our next meeting. Until then, farewell." Danzo said that and left, walking towards the village, leaving Itachi alone. So much pressure. The fake Madara wants me to do the same. Now what do I do? Sasuke and Nana will have to be left alive no matter what. I fear to think what will happen to Naruto if Nana dies. Itachi sighed as he thought that. Otafar equals. Hokage office, Konoha. I see. That is the best solution available. However, do reconsider. You will forever be maligned to manipulating your own kin. Hiruzen replied. Don't be foolish, Hiruzen. Using the Jinjutsu is only a temporary solution. Who knows when the Uchiha will rise to strike again? They have done so once. Who's to say that they won't once more? Shimura Danzo countered. Forgive me for my rudeness, Danzo-sama, but I think that Mikoto and Tsukumi, distinguished heavenly gods, will be more effective than killing the clan. We Uchiha have our uses. That much is undeniable, Shursui replied. I agree with the youngster here. Why not give him a try, Danzo? Hiruzen inquired. Very well, but if it fails, then we kill the clan. Danzo, of course, lied through his teeth, maintaining his stoic demeanor throughout. I'll have to harvest Shursui's eyes. His Mangekyo will be more useful that way. Now that the matter is settled, you are dismissed. The Hokage granted Shursui's unsaid request. Shursui left in a swirl of leaves, leaving behind Hiruzen and Danzo, the latter leaving after a farewell. Kami, my work is getting harder by the day. Hiruzen sighed. He was doing that a lot lately. Otafar equals. Uzumaki Training Ground, Konoha. Not fast enough, Mikoto said as she dodged Naruto's Itoryu Iai. Sure, sun. One sword style draw and resheath technique. Lion Song. Naruto had no particular name for his Kenjutsu style, so he just called it Itoryu, seeing that he had another sword which he was getting close to unlocking and hence developing a Nitoryu to utilize it. Naruto was ambidextrous, so a dual wield was no issue. Sheathing Aka Shometsu, Red Annihilation. Naruto used a Shunshin, body flicker, to move into the trees. When Naruto, Nana, and Maya returned home, they found some snacks sitting on the table with some juice and a note. Naruto picked it up and read it. Apparently, Mikoto wanted to take a test of Maya and Nana's progress, and invited Naruto into the mix. After that, it was a 3-on-1 fight again. Mikoto, the children currently losing. Regrouping with the girls, Naruto thought up of a plan on the fly and decided to share it. Listen up, in the fight I had with Shursui-sensei, I used a chakra blocking seal with a 1-kilometer radius. Right now I want to make one with a 5-kilometer diameter. I want you, Nana-chan, to distract Ka-chan until me and Maya-chan manage to make the seal, and it shouldn't take more than 3 minutes with Kage Bunshin, shadow clones. Once she's trapped, she should take about 4 minutes to escape as opposed to Sensei's 1. Here's the important part. He looked at Nana, will be at the center with Ka-chan while distracting her. Since you already know that the seal will be activated, you will have a perfect opportunity to take care of her while she's surprised, probably a second. In that time, I want you to try your best to grapple Ka-chan. It should take me and Maya-chan about 6 minutes to reach you. 3 to contact her if she manages to get out earlier. We'll help when we arrive. Remember, this is our last shot at securing the target, and we can't do anything much other than this, so make this count. Hi, Nana said, as she jumped tree to fulfill her assignment. Naruto and Maya formed a few clones and left using the Shunshin body flicker. With Nana spotting Mikoto, Nana immediately used a Kitan. Gokaku no Jutsu, fire release, great fireball technique, which the elder of the two dodged by jumping above it and landing on another branch. Nice surprise attack. Too bad I'm just too good, Mikoto joked. I have to use Jutsu while I can, so I tire her out, the young female Uchiha thought as she jumped into the sky and formed a clone. Futon, Daitapa, wind release, great breakthrough. Katan, Hozinka no Jutsu, fire release, Phoenix Sage fire technique. Multiple supercharged fireballs flew at Mikoto. Inwardly pleased with her work, Nana noticed that the last jutsu had put a considerable dent in her reserves, although she could still go on for a lot more. Mikoto broke apart into a flock of crows and moved towards Nana, the crows attacking Nana before reforming into Mikoto behind her. The younger Uchiha then backflipped in the air, jumping using chakra, landing behind Mikoto before jabbing her back with a chakra-enhanced fist. When Mikoto crashed into a tree, which cracked under the force of the impact, both females noticed a lack of access to their chakra. It was flowing, but they were not able to use it. It was as if it were blocked. Nana understood that the seal activated and quickly moved to grab Mikoto, who, as Naruto expected, was a little surprised at the sudden change. Unfortunately for Nana, Mikoto regained her bearings rather quickly due to having had a similar past experience with a certain red-haired teammate. The fact that she saw the glow of the sealing array, forming a circle with a 100-meter diameter around them, was a factor in confirming her suspicions. Mikoto blocked the punch Nana attempted to deliver and countered with one of her own, making the girl stumble. Preparing to vacate the area, Mikoto turned around, only to have her legs pulled by Nana, making her fall face first onto the ground. With Naruto and Maya. Let's hurry into the seal, Naruto-kun. We need to get to Nana-chan, Maya said, urgently, earning a nod from Naruto. Using an initial chakra-enhanced dash, something Naruto hadn't factored, they made it a quarter-kilometer into the seal and dashed on. In about 2 minutes, they were a little over halfway to the center of the seal when they saw Nana and Mikoto exchanging blows in the distance. Mikoto managed to knock Nana to the ground, stunning her for a while, so she dashed towards the end of the seal, only to find herself facing Maya, who prepared to hit her with a lariat. Mikoto dodged and slammed Maya through a tree with a powerful punch to the gut. However, she felt a few fingers grazing the bells on her waist, so she sidestepped to avoid Naruto's surprise attempt at the bells from behind. Mikoto had decided to take a bell test today to see the children's progress. Until now, she was amazed at their progress and unnatural teamwork. They would give any jounin a run for their money, and with luck even managed to defeat them. Seeing the three dashing at her, she quickly jumped and grabbed Maya and Nana's heads and hit them against each other, knocking the tired girls out. Naruto tried another surprise maneuver from behind Mikoto, but was interrupted mid-process as Mikoto turned around and hit him hard in the gut, sending him spiraling into a tree, rendering the last child unconscious. Even without chakra, Mikoto was capable of a lot of damage. Catching her breath, Mikoto grabbed the children, deactivated the seal, and moved the trio to a bed. She was extremely proud of all three of them. Otafar. The final valley, the land of fire. It's been a long time since I came here, the Uchiha no Borii, ghost of the Uchiha, mused as he stood on a statue's head. Hashirama, last time we met you beat me. Now, I wonder who would win. Madara looked at his rival's stone head as he said that. Madara-sama, I have some unfortunate news. Zetsu rose up from the ground, the black half speaking. Upon receiving a gesture to continue from his master, he said, your grandson's teacher, your brother's descendant, is a target of Shimura Danzo. So his time has come? A pity I won't be able to save him without Deus setting fire on my plans or dying. At least he was able to make my successor fertile soil for me to work on. Uchiha Madara was many things, but emotional he was not. Though his brother's blood had completely died, while not yet, he was not one to throw a tantrum over the inevitable, although hadn't formed any bond with the young Uchiha. It seems that there are only 2 months left until your chakra stabilizes, although it will only be half as potent. White Zetsu, despite his light-hearted attitude, knew when to be serious. A small price to pay for an extended life, even though I am only limited to taijutsu at the moment. From the way matters are progressing, I would give it until then that the clan is wiped out. Madara did not particularly care about his clan. Let us move back to the new hideout.